Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 199, baby.
Yeah, man.
Presented by Hair Club for men and women and pretty much every species that's out there.
Yeah. Well, not really, but I had a good weekend, man. It was 80 degrees outside here in St. Louis. I golfed, had a little radio show on a Saturday at one of the dispensaries that we sponsor us there, Andy, and that was quite nice. Got hooked up on that. Went to butcher shop, got some
they
goods.
make you work on Saturdays.
Well, they paid me.
That doesn't matter. You're like you're like an FM DJ. Like I remember back in the day. You had to like do your call-ins from like a car dealership.
Yeah.
We got hot dogs and balloons. Come up at 3 o'clock. Louie from the Blues is going to be here.
That's how it is.
It's
but
like,
this is all for weed. So it's even cool. You got a food truck. So like Andy,
you can go there anyway, dude.
Well, that's fine. But
they make you work on Saturday
to talk for 2 hours on the radio about weed.
You better put your foot down.
So
dude. You better. Put your foot.
Do it. I think that's actually kind of cool, to be honest with you. Like, Cam's working. Oh, he's getting paid to go hang out and get hooked up and talk for 2 hours. Yeah, what a loser he is.
You can't do it Monday through Friday.
My show's from 7 to 10. They're not open. Don't you get that?
Well,
I got the morning drive show, Andy.
They could have you go later on in the afternoon, couldn't they? On a Monday through Friday, dude, you're getting worked
now I don't
over.
want to do
You're
that.
getting worked over here. You are getting worked.
We got hooked
over.
up. So we got hooked up, and then I went to the Cardinal game.
Kind of a nerdy video you guys put out.
A little
nerdy. Like
that's
you
what
walk,
you do.
like you're like kind of like bobbing. You're like
I just got hooked. I just got hooked up, and I'm gonna get my mind right.
It's like,
that's the face I have.
Barry Sanders when he'd score a touchdown, and
he didn't do anything.
He'd just act like he's.
I want to be like. Is that what you did, Andy, when you scored touchdowns? Let me be like you.
I scored a 2-point conversion.
I know you did. Sick tough. But I barbecued all weekend, man.
Me too.
I went to the Cardinals game.
How was that, man? You went to a great game.
Can I tell you something? And I was thinking about this. I played for the Blues, playing in front of your hometown. I played every rink basically. I had big brawls in MSG with the atmosphere. And I'm just thinking to myself, I haven't been to a Cardinal game in a long time. I went the last time I think I was at Busch was at Winter Classic.
Yeah.
I know, so it's been a while. I'm just not into it. I hate dressing in summertime clothes. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm fucking miserable. I just like going to Blues games.
You look terrible in pictures.
I don't have my own box. I look terrible.
When it's summertime.
I look so...
Did you wear an orange shirt? Did you think the Cardinals colors are orange?
Andy, that's another thing. I don't know what to wear.
Like it's the Astros.
All my pictures, I'm like, oh, I look terrible. Kate always looks beautiful. I just look bad. I hate dressing. But let me get to my point. Watching Albert Pujols, hit that bomb, and that place go electric.
Yeah.
I look at everything like you could be the captain for the Blues. You could be in a big bopper and hitting bombs.
It's cool,
in
man.
fucking Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
Is probably the coolest thing. You're the biggest dick going.
Yeah.
A big bopper.
Well,
it's kind of cool,
when
man.
He's doing it right now, it's an iconic
I'm talking about
moment.
anybody.
It's an iconic moment because he's chasing 700. He's Albert Pujols.
There's 50,000 people
He's in the
there.
final year of his of his career. So like that,
I know
that presents like a completely different.
Andy, I know that. I'm saying I looked at like being a fucking power forward, doing this, being a good basketball player here. I'm just. The thing is, I haven't been there in a while, and I just felt the energy, and I know what that feeling's like.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And so my point is, if you're a fucking badass home run hitting son of a bitch at Busch Stadium, and you got a cool vibe to you, that atmosphere is about as cool as you can get.
It is, and it was a Sunday afternoon, a beautiful day to be out there.
Well, I ain't going tonight.
You are going tonight?
No, I'm not going at night. No.
Oh, at night. You wouldn't go down there at night?
I
thought about going on Wednesday this week. I hadn't been to a game since the home opener of the season, and I keep saying I was going to go back, but the problem is I don't do baseball when it's like 95 degrees outside.
Beautiful out, dude.
When it's 90 plus. Even if you're in a suite or whatever, it's still just, getting there in and out outside 95 in this type of heat isn't always very enjoyable.
The fans love it though, man.
But they do. Hey, listen,
it's
man.
Crazy.
Baseball in St. Louis, it's
huge.
like it's next level, man. It is huge especially when they're having success, and when you have an iconic member of the franchise. And I'm talking like truly iconic, which is what Albert Pujols is.
He's the biggest dick.
He is.
Biggest athlete.
Dude, he's one of the, for sure. I mean, he's one of the top couple players in the history of that franchise.
I always wondered what he did after games. Like, now he's single. Does he go home
and like walk into his Ledoux mansion and no one's there? Do you have like cooks and chefs and a maid that takes care of you that's always there? Are you like, what are you doing? Your
He's
kids
made
with
like
you?
$600 million.
I know. So it's like, what? Like, I'd have people driving me everywhere. I'd have people take care of every. I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
His wife messed that one up, man. She had
Well,
a good,
how do you know what
good
happened?
thing going.
How do you? Well,
Sarsis
she's
say.
going to be okay.
Sarsis say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She seemed kind of like I don't want to say.
I'm not touching.
No. I'm not going to touch that.
I'm just saying.
I'm not.
He's a pretty
that.
good dude. That's
you don't
all I'm
fucking
saying.
Know him.
Andy's
like, he's a pretty good. You don't know him,
dude. We're very.
You
tight.
don't know.
You didn't see my interview with him during the Blues game.
If you want to talk about, get out of here. If you want to talk about somebody with the Blues and you said he's a good dude, I'll be like, yeah, Andy, I'm going to give you that. But you're talking about Albert. You do not know that guy.
Okay,
you don't.
Let me explain a couple things.
So
First off,
don't cross over.
One of my close friends is next door neighbors with Yadier Molina. I've hung out. I partied with the Molinas.
Oh, get out of here.
They let me in the suite.
Dude,
okay?
they let all of us
I
in.
got a picture taken on my Instagram, I think, with Molina and Pujols.
Oh, yeah. He loved watching you play back in the day.
I mean,
Molina
Pujols,
is a big hockey fan.
I'll be honest with you, though. Pujols, I used to do a radio show for several years at Pujols 5 restaurant, at his restaurant. And we did a number of events together where I would MC these events, whatever, down there for the Patrick family. And I got to know him a little bit. I was shocked when he came back. I remember going into his suite to see if he'd do this interview, whatever.
And
he was very cool, man. He like remembered and everything. It was very,
Oh, yeah.
I was never like the baseball guy, like,
No, you
you know, but I was down there for several years every single day, man, as part of my job. And I had to be there.
Are the World Juniors going on right now?
Yeah, they are, dude. I watched the whole game last night.
Like, I haven't even.
Last night was actually a good game to watch.
I know, but like, I'm not into it. Like,
nobody's
kind of
into
goo. Is it no one into it?
Well,
I mean, up there they are.
We're
not
in
I know.
comparison, Cam, to what you're used to seeing.
I know, Andy.
In the World
I remember
Juniors.
you posted something, and I'm like, oh fuck, the World Juniors are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like down here, we're just in a baseball bubble right now down here, man. In St. Louis, Andy's still watching, and I got a bunch of shit going.
Yeah.
Like I like to watch out in the summertime. I'm just like. That's in the documentaries. I'm going to learn shit. I want to do this. Like when hockey season starts, it's like fucking go.
Yeah.
Every goddamn night, there's something you got to pay attention. So right now, I'm like not into it.
If it was traditionally in the summer, I think maybe we'd be a little more like, used to seeing hockey at this time of year. But we're not. It's in Canada. You have all these issues surrounding Hockey Canada. Sponsors pulling out. Russia isn't there. And,
that's right.
And you've got games where, Cam, literally, they counted 50 people.
Oh, you kidding? That's what I was going to ask you.
50 people. And so, like, last night, it was like I enjoyed watching the game because you've got big-time monster prospects on both sides of the fence with Sweden and Team USA. It's 9 p.m. on a Sunday night, so it's like perfect timing just to chill and watch a hockey game. And, like, there's some really good players, man, on Team USA. Like, Sweden's got some good players. From a local angle here in St. Louis, Sweden has a Blues prospect. I mean, you got a St. Louis kid who's playing for Team USA. So
that Connor Bedard kid?
He plays for Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I was making sure. Yeah, he plays for Canada.
I watched all his highlights
and so Canada wins like 17-0 against everybody. So you just wait.
Everybody.
I know. Until they play like a Sweden, Finland, or
Who
the
they
U.S.
crushing 17?
Like Switzerland, all these other.
Yeah.
They're just crushing.
Yeah.
Slovakia.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Slovakia sometimes could sneak out a fucking game on you.
They can. Not necessarily at the junior level, but
what
they
about
can.
Czechia?
Czechia, I don't know.
Czechia.
That's who the Americans are playing, I think, coming up in the quarterfinals.
Even Germany could squeak out something on you if they wanted to. Not saying, I don't know.
Canada destroyed Germany.
Did they kill them? Yeah, but once in a while.
So did the Americans.
Did they?
Hey, this American team, though, I will say this about
cool?
the Americans. They're very cool.
Yeah.
And, Cam, they work their ass off, man. I have not seen a team work as hard as this team in quite a while. The goaltending is very average. I mean, the goaltending last night, this guy is looked like a men's league goalie, even though he's not.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying his performance against Sweden, they better get some better goaltending, otherwise they're not going to
like that USA
leave Canada
jersey.
with the gold. But, USA hockey, these kids, man, they know when they're playing in Canada, too. And, typically it's a bigger deal in Canada, but trust me, it's a big deal for these kids to go to Canada and win the tournament and win gold in Canada. And they're going to want to be able to do that. Canada's damn good too, man. They've got some unbelievable, talent with Bedard, like you mentioned. And, Mason McTavish
17.
and some of those guys, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool playing that tournament back in the day.
But they've got this.
I remember like just a guy just playing in Canada, playing in Windsor, and it's all those guys up there.
Oh, yeah.
It just was a fucking badass tournament at the time.
Well, and everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching.
The problem is, listen, the World Junior Championship has become such a money grabber, specifically in Canada, okay, where it's become so commercialized. And, everybody gets so crazy about it. It's almost like the actual hockey is like secondary. And so, maybe this, situation here with nobody showing any interest, even in Canada.
Why is that, though? What's
because
changed?
it's summer, and I think a lot of Canadians are probably...
Like, it's a holiday thing, too, isn't it? Like, it's like all part of the holiday.
My guess is, exactly. And so it's going to be back in December. But because it got canceled last December,
they got to make that
they're having it now.
It's all good.
But I said several weeks ago that they should just cancel it. Why even have it?
Because of money.
But there isn't a whole lot of money.
They're probably spending more money than anything.
Oh, my God, because Hockey Canada is, like, putting it on.
Yeah.
They've got all the big-time sponsors pulled out because of all the investigations and shit.
What's the latest
I think people are boycotting it, really.
Wow, because of Hockey Canada stuff?
I don't know. Why? Explain to me why in Edmonton, Ontario, or Alberta, why they're not going to watch hockey.
I don't know. Hey, Deshaun Watson played the other day.
They are going to show up
funny.
a little bit for the Canada games, but it's not like a sold-out house.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, man.
Jesus.
What do you make out
Touchy
of his
poo.
situation? Hey, he gets a little
because,
touchy.
dude, sometimes
all the women are coming forward. They have like 60-plus women.
How can you not think that I hate that. Like, there's certain situations that we look at and we're like, I need to see more evidence on. Like, look, every situation is different. They're not all the same. You don't believe all men. You don't believe all women. You just you believe in what the facts are at the time.
But there's no real criminal investigation. Right?
I know, but like, he did something weird.
He did.
Okay, and there's so much to it. To where it's like, no, I know dudes that are kind of like not like that, but like they have to get their fix, and maybe they're not like what he is, but. You just have to get it. And I can feel like he's one of those guys. So 25 chicks or whatever it is now. But it's like, you did something, whatever. You did something fucking goofy and weird. You could have the same goddamn trainer and massage therapist, and they'll get you. And you know who and the right kind of people have their dude or their girl. Most of the times their dude. That does so you can dig into those muscles. And you'd probably have, somebody with soft hands to dig into your little muscles. But he did something goofy. And I bet you, like... I don't know. Like, people are going to go watch him play. It's actually more of a craziness.
How do you perform under those circumstances?
How do you go walk into training camp and be like, "Hi, I'm normal. I'm your guy."
Yeah, but dude, he's playing in the preseason game, and it's all over on social media of the fans chanting like crazy shit at him.
They're still there though.
I don't know how he's gonna expected to perform in a situation like that.
Time people forget about it eventually.
If he's throwing touchdowns?
Yeah. They'll forget about it. They forget about a lot of things. And I believe in second chances, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But, there's something goofy with that motherfucker.
Well, so the arbitrator or whatever, like the third party, they suspended him for 6 games.
I know.
And the NFL's going crazy, and so they're appealing it.
They know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot of pressure from the fan base to do it. So they're trying to get him suspended for the entire year.
I think it's just
He didn't play all of last year either.
I know. So I think it's just going to be a couple more games so the NFL could be like, look at us. Look what we did, But I kind of want to see what he could do. What a weird fucking Cleveland. Like, you're playing for Cleveland, that organization.
Didn't they just bring on, what's his name, too? Kaepernick?
What?
I think they just signed him,
no,
too.
No, they didn't.
Kaepernick. I'm pretty sure they did.
Brody, look that mug up. But Kaepernick's supposed to...
Unless that was a fake report. I may have gotten fooled by a fake report.
This is a while back, and they brought him to training camp. And there's no film of it. That's when he was so god awful. I heard a couple guys, Sapp said that he had the worst showing ever.
Warren Sapp?
Yeah, Warren Sapp said that Kaepernick was a joke. It was a laughable joke.
You talked to Warren?
No, he fucking said something on a podcast about it.
He was just helping out some kids at a football camp. Yeah. Warren Sapp,
I wouldn't touch that.
He may be a little touchy too.
He's a touchy poo kind of. All those cats, those cats,
NFL Network,
touchy poo.
They were like, all y'all are out.
Hi, women. Like, hide your wives, hide your daughters.
God. Oh my God.
When the ESPN football cast is up there touching everybody.
Did Kaepernick sign? It was just a rumor.
Jesus, Andy.
Well, it was a rumor, man. I was talking to some agents.
He's making more money now than he would doing anything anyway.
He had such a tough upbringing.
What, are you chirping Kaepernick now?
He's too much.
I think he's...
You chirp the fucking cops like that.
He's the beginning of a movement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
You know?
No, I know it is. I know what he stood for, and I get there's a lot of... I get a lot of it, but a lot of it I don't get. You're beaking its cops.
Do you think people should hold Brittany Griner's stance with the national anthem against her with her current situation in prison?
I think she realizes if she does. I think there's a little wake up call. I mean, you bash the U.S. and then yet you go over to Russia and you're making money off of Russia. But I think a lot of time they don't really hate it here. It's just kind of a thing for them. Maybe not all of them, but maybe some like, look, what I'm going to do this too. Yeah. Well, why is that? That's why they don't do interviews. Like, you want to really break it down? Break it down. Like, why? Because of this. Like, well, this happened because of that. Well, he was still protecting this, and the cop had to do that. So what else? Okay, that. Well, this, there's still more to it.
Do you hear about that guy that's predicting a mega flood in California? Southern California is going to wipe out the entire...
Because like a typhoon coming over and
because of global warming. Because of the Earth's temperature increasing.
It's a
so there was a crazy flood.
There's going to be
in California back in like 1862, which was disastrous. They're saying that the financial cost of this potential flood. Now, I'm not exactly sure when it's going to happen. We got to find out exactly when some of these guys are predicting this. They're saying it'll cost more than $1 trillion.
Look, we're going to see in our lifetime,
like no highways.
Now you
everything.
Throw global warming in it. Like the globe's always going to. Ticking up. Is it going to really affect us?
You don't believe in global warming?
Of course I do.
Yeah, okay.
Climate change, of course.
Climate change. It's because of climate change, yeah.
Yeah, Andy. Okay, I know. Okay, you're such a fucking nerd. Oh, Jesus. But with climate, it's so funny. Climate change. But it's like, well, okay, here's the bitch of climate change. We're not ready yet for the green movement. And if we do have the green movement and set ourselves back and
What's the green movement?
Staying away from fossil fuels. All this oil we could tap in the U.S. right now
solar.
And get 200. How much does that cost? And how hideous is that when you see solar panels everywhere? I know some work. They're very expensive.
Some of them look very cool.
They look hideous. They look like.
You think they do?
Solar panels in your fucking yard?
I've got a neighbor who has no on top of his roof.
That looks shitty too, but sometimes it works, but it costs a lot of money. Sometimes you're paying $250,000 and maybe you'll save some money during. I get it, and I get why people do that. I want to trend towards that. But to say we all have to have electric cars right now, I think we're not ready yet. We're just not ready for it yet. Where are the docking stations? Are they? I know there's some, but we're just not there yet. So when they want to go for this Green New Movement because of climate change and we're all going to die, we heard this story before. We get it. I want green as much as possible. Do those solar wind panels work? Fuck, I don't think so. What do you do with them when those things blow up? Bury them?
I don't know, but I think they do.
No, you don't know.
No, I do think they do work. I mean, the technology and these companies,
they look terrible. So you're like, all this money goes. My point is, I don't want to slow down our economy because we're really rapidly changing when we could tap into our resources and not be relied upon Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. And look at Russia. So like, wait. So our economy slows down that much because Russia's invading Ukraine. Like, let's be self-reliant on all this stuff. We have every single resource in U.S. They want to stay away from drilling, and I think we're not ready yet. We will eventually. And what are you going to do about China and India, who causes more pollution than anybody?
In terms of the solar panels,
yeah, they look terrible.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not for the overall look. It doesn't look that bad on my neighbor's
I got a neighbor
on the street over who they just built a house and he's got solar panels on his roof.
I know some look okay.
Looks kind of cool, man.
But there's some, Andy, I get that.
Yeah.
And there's some cool ones.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to put an eyesore on my house, I need it really to work. And I know people are going to say, Cam, it does. I get that. They're very expensive. But I see a lot too, Andy, to where you'll have this beautiful house and beautiful green grass yard. And half of the acre is fucking solar panels, and it looks like 1980s sci-fi.
On top of the roof.
I know.
And the technology of these companies, and you're right, it does cost a lot of money.
Costs a ton of money.
But you're saving money in the long run. That's the
Are
idea.
you?
I don't know. That's
After a while, like I just kind of want to see how it works. Yeah. And like again, with the
windmill, you don't have to rely on electricity, you know.
So. Well, yeah, you do, Andy. Yes, you still do. You still have to.
Maybe not.
Let me know when
much.
that. Oh yeah, where? Who you living in the middle of the woods? What are you talking about?
Go talk to him.
Of course,
today.
you have electricity. You have to fucking rely on.
Let me go talk.
Just
to
like
him.
where those batteries in these electric cars, so a lot of people like.
Okay, well, so
where are the batteries? How are they?
Would
fueled?
you invest in
Tesla? You're goddamn right.
Would you invest?
And if you did fucking 10 years ago, you're doing pretty good.
That's not what I was gonna say.
What?
Would you invest in gasoline right now?
Invest in oil?
Mm-hmm. Like in gas stations, for example.
No, because Biden right off the bat said, look, we're getting away from it. That scares oil companies with leases and doing the next step to be committed. So now he's going to Venezuela and talking to them, and the fucking Saudis, he's going to them and talking to them about, we have it all right here for 200 years.
So
we could
I was looking at a electric car, not really to purchase, but just checking it out because it was in the lot the other day.
Man.
The problem is, not to say that you want to do this all the time, but just little things, man. You can't leave your car on when you get out of the car. Like it turns off.
No, there's a lot of little things. I'm not ready for it.
It's not 100%
I want a boat.
ideal, but I think it's in a very short period of time. We're talking 10, 15 years down the road. I think we will be there.
I think you're right. I think it's trending in that way.
Across the board, man.
Yeah, well, we will. You think in India they will? You think in China they will?
Oh, yeah.
They're fucking making highway speed rails. Listen, the thing is, we could trend in that direction all you want, but if we're not ready for it.
Why wouldn't they have it in India?
Because they're going to be clean in India? In New Delhi, you think they're going to clean up like, oh, no admissions? Are you out of your mind?
Well, I'll have to ask my guy from Bombay.
It's the most
we'll see what he
polluted
has to
place
say
in the
about
world
that.
is India and China. They could, dude. In U.S., we are trending in a
The
good direction.
water in India is very polluted.
I know, Andy.
You know that?
Andy, the
You
Ganges
see those
River.
You see those dudes drink out of the river?
No, they have like a.
And then they get sick.
No, they don't get sick. That's the weird thing. They're
Recently,
bathing in it.
They've been getting sick.
Some do. They got they got factories on that. They are so far behind. Our admissions is going down and down. Our footprint in society every year is trending in the right direction. We just don't need to go from point A to point B that quick. When you still got China and India polluting so much to where us slowing down to hurt us, is that going to affect climate? No, we all have to get on it, and that's going to be a difficult thing to do. But I do agree that we need to go green. I like when people, like some of these buildings that they incorporate more trees and stuff, plant trees. Dude, I love all that, dude. You live in fucking close to the city. I live in Pleasantville. There's fucking, all it is green grass and shit out there, dude. You out of your mind?
In my municipality, that's all you have, though, in reality.
Dude, I live in Countryville. I'm not in the city. People in the city complain about, you guys need to be better with climate. You're in the city. I'm living out in farmland where I live. Beauty.
It's a golf course. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They took away a
lot of water.
They took away all that natural land and then turned it into a golf course. They should have just left those trees, man, and just made it a natural forest.
Yeah, well, now we can enjoy it.
What do you think about? What do you think about when people take like natural, untouched land
depends on
and
where
turn
it's
it
at.
into a golf course?
I mean, it depends on. Well, I think it's beautiful out there. You know, you want to have people live places of beauty. So
it's a lot of golf courses. A lot of golf courses. I can't believe how many people play golf to have that many golf courses.
It's a fun thing to do. You could do it at an old age, Andy. You just have to be athletic. Unfortunately, you're not.
Oh my God! I told you about my business idea that I want to open up these new putt-putt facilities. After I think I shot like a -12.
Why don't you worry about the podcast?
On a par 5 putt-putt course. I want to have bars in there. I want to make it like a paradise for adults to go hang out in. Cart girls, the whole 9 yards. Then don't go stealing my idea.
Cart girls in a par 3?
Par 5 putt-putt course. It's going to be like an indoor and outdoor.
So you have a cart? You're making no sense.
Oh, water hazards, the whole 9 yards, dude. I just played at a course like that in Hilton Head, I was telling you. But this place, they had like Bible verses.
Are you done?
At every hole, they had like a different
really?
Bible verse. Yeah. And so there was no beer sold, no.
God.
But so my idea.
You would go to something like that.
Well, I didn't know.
How
was great.
boring is that?
Great.
That looks like Andy talks about how much fun he has at places with his kids and stuff. And I know, look, Andy's family's so damn cute. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I know what you're doing.
That's what it was.
You're not having that much fucking fun.
That's what it was.
He's like, it was such a great time.
So,
let me tell the story.
Laurie's asking.
You're playing at a Christian youth group camp.
So listen, Laurie's asking at the front desk if they like have margaritas or anything. You know,
they're like, excuse me,
yeah, they're
Satan
like,
woman?
we don't have any alcohol in the premises. So I was sitting there as I was playing in this par 5, and I shot like a -12, I think.
You just sounded dumb when you're talking like that.
Well, dude, there's water hazards, there's sand traps. And I'm thinking, man, I want to open up my own spot and have like bars where people can lounge and like take breaks and whatever, and cart girls, and like turn it into like a more of an adult, like kind of like a Topgolf type environment.
You got $30 million? Well,
I was going to talk to Tommy Dundon about that.
Tom Dundon.
He owns all the Topgolfs.
Oh, he does?
You didn't know that?
That's right.
Yeah, you
that's
remember
right.
I went to a concert on Friday.
How was Zach Brown Band? I should have gone, but you guys were sitting in the grass? Why would you sit in the grass? You can't even see the band.
Okay, but here's the deal.
What, are you in high school still?
No, I had tickets because we had VIP tickets or whatever for the club and all that stuff, so we were hanging out in there.
That little club's awesome.
Yeah, and it was great. But, our friends were up there, and we went up there just to hang out, and the plan was to go back down, and we just kind of started chilling out and just never.
You can't see the band from that far away.
But I'm not like a diehard Zach Brown band guy. So yeah, man.
They're not putting on a show anyway. They're just singing.
He talks too much. First off, stop talking.
Oh, about what?
Well, it doesn't really matter.
Did he get political?
A little bit.
What kind of direction?
Well,
What did he say?
About he just.
Well, what did he say?
Like military and stuff like that. It was all good.
Oh, well, pop up the military? Hell yeah.
No, but he got political.
Ukraine, anything
stuff.
Ukraine stuff?
Maybe. I don't know. Armed forces, a lot of stuff. I don't know. He was just.
Andy, if they want to say,
that was one time.
So
other times he just tells stories, dude, and talks.
Oh.
And it's just play the music, man. I'm not used to going to concerts where they just talk
that's what
the whole
that's
time.
what fucking Roger Waters, who's a psychopath.
Yeah.
I love Pink Floyd more than anything. Mm-hmm. And Roger Waters will go up there and be like, Trump, and you'll play Trump things, and I know, I get why people hate him. I get it, but it's so in your face. He's in Missouri.
No, this was an opposite crowd of that.
Well, I know, but you're in Missouri watching Pink Floyd anyway. People are probably
right.
You don't typecast half the crowd with your stupid political take. Although he's been nutty.
It
on a lot of
wasn't
shit. I hate
anything that was
although we talk about it on
the
here,
top in terms of political. That wasn't really where I was going with it. I just feel like he talks too much.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Between songs. And when you're up in the lawn, no one even is listening.
Not back in the lawn, you mean?
Yeah, back in the lawn.
Up was where the people that you weren't hanging out with were at.
Yeah.
You're back
But, dude, to be in the seats, here's the deal. The lawn, you actually have room to kind of
you can't see anything.
But it's not my band where I really need to see.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm on stereo, I need to be right there.
Yeah, they're cool and all. And, it's not... I'm not focusing on the guitar or the bass player. I'm just.
Yeah, they're all doing the same thing. He's not dancing around.
No, he's not doing anything. He's just.
It ain't Pantera up there.
They did a bunch of covers and they sang their popular songs and listen, I like Southern rock, man. I don't mind Southern rock. It's fun. It's a great atmosphere. People had a good time. It was a beautiful night. The weather was great.
Fuck yeah.
So
hey, how about that damn place in Spain? I think it was. They're watching a concert. And the wind came and knocked that mug down. I think it killed a couple people. That's happened before at these concerts. Sometimes the weather hits you, and you're like, what the fuck do I do? Ah! And it comes in blah, blah, blah. All shit's falling down. Yeah, and, that where Andy's talking about, all y'all out there, is called Riverport Amphitheater, where Andy went. I think it's a Hollywood Casino now. What the fuck ever. You know how those change all the time. But all you guys remember, if you know Guns N' Roses, back in 92, a guy I know that follows Andy and I around on our radio shows, drives a motorcycle. He's the one that took the picture of Axl Rose in 1992. Look this up, all y'all out there. You know Axl Rose. He's the one that took the picture that Axl goes, go fuck you, and jumps in the stands and rocks him. He hurts his back, and he sued him for millions. And it took forever to come through.
Did he get the money?
He got money. Yes, he got money. He got money, and the guy follows my radio show around.
How much money he get?
I don't know exactly, but he's still getting checks from Axl Rose because he's the one that took a picture, and Axl was all yacked up on cocaine, and he's like, ah, and he freaked out and jumped, and he got trampled. A couple guys got hurt in that. Some security got hurt their back and stuff like that because you cause such a ruckus, and people fall on you, and there's chair. Oh, it's crazy.
Really?
Yes. That guy follows us around.
People,
in a good way. No, he's a good dude.
People at concerts everybody's happy. They're in a good mood. Yeah. I'm going to see Fish in a couple of weeks. And
you have two. You have two bands that you watch.
Well, who's the other one?
I don't know.
I like
whatever somebody else.
I like reggae music. I like jazz. I like and I like jam bands.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I know. I like.
It's all good. I like hip hop. I'll go see anything, man. My girl likes country.
Andy was gangster when he was growing up.
I was. My girl likes country though, so it's fine.
Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah, so I don't mind. But I'm not a big country music.
I'm not into it too much, dudes. And all y'all out there,
some people are.
I'm in all kind. I'm not gonna lie to you, dudes. Mm-hmm. I like classical music too. Ooh. Not gonna lie to you. Little Mozart.
Like orchestra.
like little Mozart, little Beethoven. They got some cool tunes. They're really interesting. If you get your mind right, kick your goddamn feet up, put on some classical music. Sometimes after a hardcore weekend, flying on a plane, coming home from fighting or whatever, I'll just jam out, drink some wine on the back of the plane, and jam out to some Beethoven.
Really?
Yes.
Can you jam out to Beethoven?
Yes.
I'd never seen that before.
You could listen for 9 hours, but Beethoven's greatest hits on press play, you'll know so many songs.
Oh, yeah.
You'll know so many songs.
I know a lot of Beethoven songs, for sure.
Mozart, same damn thing. Back in the 1700s, if you're a 1790s teenager, that was your dude. We're 90s guys. 1790s, that's Mozart was the shit.
Can you believe if you were growing up in the 1790s, the Great Flood of Southern California happened 130 years before that?
Andy finds one natural disaster that he saw somewhere, and he talks about it like he's he's done his research and saved people from it. I'm a natural disaster son of a bitch.
Okay, you don't know about this prediction that's out there. You don't know.
Here's what I was going to say. No.
Feet of water they're predicting, and it's going to wipe out all the freeways and everything.
Yeah. Now, you're not talking about rising seas. People complain about rising seas all the time. Let me get some. Here's what I was going to say.
Climate change.
Here's what I was going to say, though. But you're saying, like, it's when you say climate change, like, you just sound like you know what I mean.
Flood is a result of climate change.
Everything's climate change, Andy. Climate changes every day.
I'm just telling you.
But you act like it's climate change, like we have to stop driving cars
Look it up.
I do look shit up. Here's what's going to happen in our lifetime, though, Andy, in Missouri. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. There's going to be an earthquake in the New Madrid Fault Line in southern Missouri. It happened in 1800s. People were talking about it's kind of tightening up a little bit. We're going to get rocked by an earthquake. I ain't worried about that. Unless the Mississippi flows backwards like it did back in the 1800s. You know what I'm worried about. What is it? There's two things.
Tornadoes.
Two things I'm worried about. Tornado. St. Louis outer skirts is a lot more popular than it was. A lot of times in flood zones. That's another natural disaster I'm talking about. In our lifetime, we will see, Andy, a long track tornado, EF 3 to 5. Sometimes it's going to be 3. Sometimes it's going to be 200 miles an hour wind. It's going to be in the F5. And it's going to rock a very populated place in the St. Louis metro area. And it's going to do billions upon billions of damage. It's going to kill a lot of people.
Oh, my
God.
God.
I know.
When is this happening?
I don't know. But it will.
You're trying to be one of these guys that are the predicting people.
No, I'm just saying we just miss all the time with them. Like they just happen in a place that no one's there. It's going to happen in
I just had a tornado at my house. Dude.
I know, but that thing could have got a little bit more energy and could have fucked a lot of things up. That's why I'm saying, not because I'm Nostradamus, and I'm not saying the date of it. I'm saying in our lifetime, we will see a long track, very devastating tornado in a populated area in St. Louis, in the St. Louis metro area. Mark my words. And here's another thing. There'll be another big flood. We have too much rivers. We have too many creeks. We have so much stuff in the middle of Missouri here where we live, in the eastern part, St. Louis, whatever. There's a lot of connected, huge monster rivers. The Big Muddy Missouri. You got the Mississippi, and there's a lot of rain. There's a lot of fucked up weather, climate change. I know. Yeah, Andy, fine. But it's gonna we are gonna get flooded, and it's gonna be nasty, just like my hometown Eureka got. Now they've fixed a couple things.
That was in 93.
Engineers did. That was Mississippi in 93, but Eureka got flooded 3 years in a row. Millions of remember I went down there and did videos and I was sandbagging. Remember that sandbagging. They fixed it. It hasn't happened in a while, but there will be a big time. The Mississippi will flood again like it did in 93. Now, they got dams and all that stuff, but I think we'll see a big flood, but we will see a hardcore tornado. I know, not to be like,
I don't even know why you're throwing that out there.
Because weather's interesting to me, and I see pattern.
I used to have a weather radio. You know what those are? It was like a radio that would only give you like weather forecasts.
I can't have a conversation
from all around the world.
Like, you don't think I'm...
You know what a weather radio is? Like from back in the day, had a big antenna.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And
I think
the
farmers
white
had it
button.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's why when farmers get rocked, you know those are nasty.
You read the
thing.
Farmer's Almanac? You ever read that?
Well, hey, this winter, homeboy in St. Louis is supposed to be fucking hardcore.
Really?
All right, farmers, they just brought it up.
Yeah.
That's the winter he's talking about.
This winter?
Yes.
Like a lot of snow and stuff?
Snow, cold, crazy. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I don't like super cold and I don't like super hot.
I know. I like getting snowed in, though, and putting my fireplace on. Loading up before it comes, just like a panic movement. Get the toilet paper. No, I know what to get. I'm going to get whatever I want. I'm going to get alcohol and water, just, whatever.
and get the food that lasts or whatever the case is. But I like in the wintertime, Andy, when it's really cold and you get snowed in, you put the fire on, it's cozy, you could just... You have a snow day.
Nothing better.
You make fucking whatever you want to make, and you cook or whatever, and you're just snowed in. Like, I don't got shit the fucking day.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I love it. It's so much better that way than 110 degrees where I have to shut my house down. I can't even look at my lovely backyard because it's so fucking hot that my house is 78 degrees, and I'm like sweating my ass off in the corner like a rolling Molly at the Lake of the Ozarks 3 o'clock in the morning.
So listen, I'm at the concert in the VIP club. I'm up in the club, okay?
Oh,
and
nice little club.
The line was so long for the there was like one register at the bar, like one bartender.
Ooh.
But then the second guy all of a sudden shows up and he goes to the second register. So I just like walked to the front of the line and just like walked right up to him. This girl walks up to me and she says, "The line's back there."
Well, because
you
it
just
is
cut in front of a bunch of people. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, don't say anything. Don't say. She could have like a Jersey Shore like boyfriend with her for all I know. You never know.
Big old country.
Well, it's a country show,
Oh, they'll look at you like, get out of here, boy.
It ends up the husband walks up, and I know the husband really well. It was actually
you did
hilarious.
butt in line, dick.
Well, I didn't know. It wasn't really on.
No, but I think that's I think that's like.
That'll bother people.
That's
though,
like,
man.
but when you're standing in line and another guy comes up, it's the next guy in line
Is
that
it
gets
that
to go
bad
first.
to do? Is that?
Yeah, that's what jackasses do.
Yeah, you can't do that.
But I want to get a couple scary monsters, like a cool, scary picture of like things that scared me as a kid.
Oh
what do you think it is
God.
that I'm looking at?
I mean, it could be.
What do you think What do you think?
Dracula.
Dracula's badass. I'd get a badass.
I mean, why are you trying to scare people inside your house?
Because
like,
I'm obsessed with scary.
To be like welcoming for people to come in and like hang out.
No, because this thing scared me as a kid, and I want Pantera helped me get out of my fear of
you
stuff.
want to like picture a Pantera?
No, maybe. I want a kind of a scary, like my hockey stuff, and then scary stuff of like old books or
Chucky
movies.
Or something?
What do you think it is?
Chucky.
It's horrified me. I read the book and I watched the movie.
Ooh, It.
There it is, Andy. You know me all too well.
Really? How about that?
Not the new one. I want Tim Curry, Pennywise the Clown in the early 90s, Andy.
Dude.
He was, and maybe all the acting wasn't great. His acting of Pennywise the Clown in the early 90s in those It movies were so horrifying. He was so good. He was so talented. And when you see him, he's like they're driving, and you see him on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. He's got his balloons like staring at you, pointing at you, like I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get you in your dreams, kind of like Freddy, where you can't get him out of your. He's not hurting you, but he's there, and he tortures your mind. Like God, that fucked me up as a kid, and so I want to be able to walk in my studio and stare at him, and be like you're like I get you, you know, like you tortured me as a kid, but now I'm not. Now I respect the shit out of you. That. Pennywise the Clown is one of my number one most horrific monsters anybody's ever created. And I read the book, Andy, and it's about 6 inches thick, and it's so.
How many pages?
Key.
I try to keep it under 200 if I can.
No, but scary books, you're engulfed in them. When I was doing heavy painkillers, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You'd read books?
I would read, Andy. I would read for 12 hours a fucking day.
When's the last time you read a book? It's been a long time.
It's been a couple years. It's been a couple years.
I don't like this setup, dude. It's way too scary for me. And nobody's going to want to come over to your house.
Don't go in my... That's where I get down with it, too. So we're going to put the PS5 up.
What's going on down there?
That's where our party... I'm going to have an awesome-ass... Kate's going to... I know she's going to give me for Christmas, like a cool beer fridge down there. I'm going to put an 80-inch in that motherfucker. I'm going to put badass... I got can lights. It's huge. I'm going to put my PS5 down there, and I'm going to start... gaming it up once in a while.
I've thought about getting like an Xbox or something or a PS5. Like Ty wants one. Do I get him one or do I not do it?
I mean, all the kids have them. They are so. Some of these games that you play, for me, I haven't done it in a couple years because the radio show.
What do you get nowadays? Like what do you?
Oh
get?
My God, you can play Red Dead Redemption 2. You're in that fucking $18.99, and it all over the Western continental West in the U.S. And you're a goddamn cowboy. And you got to hunt, and you got all these, you gamble, and it's so realistic, and you do this, it's fucking beautiful. You go down these little rabbit holes of mysteries. You have to find these creepy Hoosiers that want to, like, torture you, and it's unbelievable. It goes on. You could play it for 4 months straight, and not see the whole map and figure out all the shit.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know about
Andy,
all
if
that.
you're really into it.
Did you see on the New York subway how they had like an experiment, and they wanted to see how this would go, and they had that little Chucky doll that was like attacking people.
So they did that with clowns in Halloween about 10 years ago. Remember that? The clown thing where they'd show up to your house. I don't play that game.
What if Chucky comes up to you and starts attacking you on the plane, dude? Or not on the plane, but on the subway.
I'm worried about, like, the guy beating his dick off over in the corner on the subway.
And those guys are doing that, too.
I know.
Like, what is happening on the subway?
New York, people are getting killed in New York, dude. You know what kills more people in New York, I think, than guns? Hammers.
What is it?
Hammers.
Hammers?
Stabbings.
Oh.
It's crazy.
People attack people with hammers?
Yeah. Remember the knockout game in New York?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
kids were doing.
That was happening here, too. Back when I was a kid.
You'd be a victim of that. Anybody? No, it's all young girls.
No, you know what they would do?
Old women.
If somebody would...
Satan childs.
If somebody... I think they would either be coming the other direction or be behind you. If they flashed you, it means that they were coming to get you. Okay? Like if they turned their lights on and off, flashed you, it means they were coming to get you. So I've had situations where I've had people following me. I told you about that guy who was, having that road rage who was following me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, don't do the road rage with those truckers. Don't do any of that, Andy. You'll get your fucking ass kicked.
Listen, do you know I get zero road rage? Oh. I'm the most calm driver.
I drive slow. I don't
drive that slow, but I'm just very calm, man. I don't get mad. You cut me off. I don't really get angry.
You're always on the phone. Andy's a phone guy. I drive 60 miles. I drive like an old man.
I do. Actually, you did because you drove me last. You had to.
I drive like an old man.
Last week.
I drive, and my wife drives fast, and I go, slow down. That's why I leave early as shit everywhere I go, so I could drive slow. I could listen to different things. I know where I'm at. Like I got fucking vertigo shit going on with me anyway. I can't. I'm weird on the highways.
I never have my wife drive me anywhere.
I have my wife drive me everywhere.
Why? I see a lot of men do that with their wives driving. I don't get that one.
Well, I drink a lot, Andy, too.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, it has a lot to do with it. And, when we're going to a Cardinal game, like, I'm not driving home.
I don't want to say
because if I get pulled over, like, she ain't getting me out of a ticket. I could deal with it. If whatever happens with her, like, I'll deal with it, But if I get it, I'm fucked.
I don't have my wife drive me around.
Oh, I 100% do. I've always had my buddies drive me, even when I was playing here, man. When we went out, I never drove. They'd drive my nice-ass car. I'd always have a big Suburban, and I'd have my responsible buddy, drive us. Mm-hmm. So I knew I was getting home. I'd be right in front captain's seat, playing the music, making sure he's okay. Like, let's get fucking home from goddamn downtown. We're partying all night. Be good. Let's get the fuck home. I would never drive.
You think Trump knew that they were coming to raid his house?
Yes.
The FBI?
Yes.
You think they knew?
Yep.
Like he knew?
Yeah, man.
I heard he didn't know.
He knew something.
I
don't know enough about it.
They go through everything. Like they see.
Yeah, he was putting on Melania's clothes and prancing around.
Who was?
No, but they went through her. Listen, if he's guilty, then fucking get something out of it. It is kind of weird because you could sign off on documents. And look, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm a president, I want some documents. Just like Barack Obama, they all did it. I want some documents. And you know which ones I want? What do you think?
Probably.
What do you think?
Some like Civil War type stuff, or
no? I think we kind of know what happened. I mean, no, I'd say fucking UFO, classified shit. Area 50.
You think they have that? You think they have that?
Fuck.
UFOs?
Yes.
You believe in
classified? Those? Goddamn right. 100% believe in UFOs.
Have you seen an alien before? You ever had an alien come to your house?
You never know. But I'd have that. I'd do the JFK. A lot of weird, different government things throughout the years. I want to know about. There's a lot of shady shit I want to know about.
What if they raided your house? What were they going to
find?
They'd
find some drugs. They'd find.
You shouldn't say that.
Well, not like hardcore. Well, they'd find some remnants of some stuff. I don't know. Like I don't give up. Go ahead. I talk about it.
Some dirty dishes.
No, my house is, dude. My wife doesn't work.
They'd walk into that green bathroom and be like, "Okay, let's live. We're not. Don't go in there."
My house is goddamn spotless. When I walk home, there's food for me.
Oh, your wife cooks for you?
Oh God, yeah, dude.
Every day?
Yeah.
Hey,
I cook for her at nighttime.
Do you?
Yes,
I cooked last night too. I made it. I bet I had some stuff going on the Traeger.
You never show what's inside the motherfucker.
Well, yesterday I didn't. I was just warming it up, dude. I love it. You know, there's like those social media accounts where you can just like watch things that are like mesmerizing for your eyes and your brain. Like it may be like
cooking, people cooking.
Bubbles or stuff like that, or like.
You know what I watch? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really weird. Every time I bitch about going to get my hair cut, and usually it's a bunch of birds where I go to this old man in downtown Eureka, in this little barber shop. And when he's not there, I gotta go to these hens that cut my hair and talk my hair off, and I hate it.
Who's the hens?
The girls at the.
You call them birds?
I shouldn't say that.
I mean, you can't say that.
Why?
I think that's kind of offensive.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You just called him a hen. And I let the bird go. I didn't know what you were talking about. You call him a hen.
I don't know where I'm going with that.
It's like a chicken.
Well, they talk my ear off, and I kind of don't like it.
I don't like to talk.
No, I need to be an SAMR, whatever it is. It's a real thing. So here's my point. When I go get my hair cut, I go to this old man. He doesn't talk to me. No one's in there. I take my time. I take it out. He cuts every individual piece of hair. He's really gentle. I fall asleep with my head on I drool on myself.
That's disgusting.
And it's just so he doesn't say a word to me, and he doesn't. I tip him out. He doesn't have to lift my head up, and it's the most satisfying, chill. I literally sleep. It's so unbelievable. So sometimes before I go to bed, this guy goes to the most expensive barbershops around the world. And the way they take care of like the hair, it puts me to sleep. It's the weirdest thing, but it's kind of a true thing that people do. It's called ASMR or whatever the fuck.
I've never heard of that.
When you get a haircut, are you in a zone?
She's French Canadian.
Well, then you're in a different La La Land. Because if I have a hot chick doing it, I'm not getting.
She's got that accent
I'm gonna be like
going.
this. Are you looking at my bald spot? Yes, you are. But if it's the old man, he just puts me in a trance, and it's so satisfying. He takes his time. He shaves my neck, and he makes it's just perfect. It's like so relaxing. It's very weird, but it's
I love getting my hair cut. You like getting massages and stuff?
Yeah, I do. My feet, I like my head massage. I have Kate do that once in a while. But her hands aren't strong enough.
They're not.
No, my head's so big. I need her to. Come on, like this, and she can't do it. You know. And I'll give her a massage. Like, I'll hook, I'm going to hook me. I'm not like that. But she does, doesn't work. Like, she's doing okay. But I do like to go to massages. I like it outdoors when no one's around.
Massage outdoors?
Yeah, on the beach.
Never seen
with the wind on you. Oh, lowered. Yes. And you just groove. Yeah, like a little private beach. You ever done that? Oh, man.
I've never had a massage on the beach. It's too hot. I see people doing that.
It's like a sunset. I did it a couple times.
I feel like at those places, though, man, like, you go to Cabo or you're in Jamaica or, you're at a resort. I don't even know if they're like real.
You might find
Are they trained massage therapists? Do they know what they're doing?
It doesn't matter because I've had the best of the best. And I'm not Deshaun Watson, don't get me wrong. But I've we've gotten massages, guys get massage, whatever.
That Asian technique is it's amazing.
Oh, you went down that alleyway and made. Where's that massage place? Go down that dark alleyway and make a left.
You've been like on Venice Beach, you're walking around and they've got like those those Asian or Chinese massage therapists,
Oh yeah,
and like they're right there and they'll do your shoulders and your head right there, man. They've got at the mall or something. You see them there.
I don't do it.
No, I would never do that there. But I'm just saying, like these guys, they have an interesting technique.
Well,
it just gets right in there.
You get blow in the wind and you'll get a massage with your body.
Hey, are you familiar with, because listen, there's like non-binary people who don't identify as a man or a woman.
What are we doing? What are you getting me into now?
Because, there's some people.
Piss somebody
off.
Well,
no, I want to just ask you a couple questions here because apparently this is happening. There are schools, they have like the non-gender like bathrooms and stuff like that for those that don't.
Yeah, that's the one I'm taking a dump in. I'll tell you that right now.
Would you?
Well, yeah, I go into I'll go to the
women's.
Those are the cleanest bathrooms.
The women's bathroom.
Yeah. Oh. I don't go into women's bathrooms because you don't do that. But if there's one that's like both and there's a men's, I'm going into both one because that's less traffic in that mug.
I used to work at a radio station that had a man and a women's bathroom, and I would do the overnights, midnight to 6 a.m.
Yeah, you can go to women's.
And I'd only go in the women's. Only go in the women's. I'm the only person there.
That's all. It's fine. I did that, and a woman walked in one time in the underbelly of a rink.
Do you know one time I used to bring my dog, my white German Shepherd, with me when I was doing like River Otter games back in the UHL. And I brought the dog with me, and I went out to my car to get something, and I locked myself out of the station. And the dog was in there, and it's dead air. My phone's going crazy, whatever. And so I didn't know what to do. So I literally kicked the door down to get myself back into the radio station, dude.
Sometimes I know, Brody. I look at you like you kick the door down like he's fucking Superman.
Well, it took several
I know
kicks.
those thick ass doors on radio stations.
This was a radio station in the middle of nowhere, out where you live, and it was in a house.
Where I live, the wealthy part of Franklin County.
It was in like Washington, Missouri.
Oh yeah,
and it was in a house, and I kicked the door down with my foot. And then the guy had to come over, whatever. And he didn't have to charge me to pay the door. But I've had stuff like that happen to me all the time. But anyway, so these non-gender bathrooms, and I hear that there's something where people can identify as animals, dude. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, man.
So apparently there's a school here in town where they're going to have a student who is enrolling who identifies as a dog. No, it's not. This is a serious situation. Yeah, well, dresses like a dog. And identifies as a dog. Like, at what point, like, do the parents need to get involved here, or do you just, like, if the kid says I identify as a dog,
what do you think,
he's barking and stuff like that? What do you think, Andy? Well, I don't know. So how do you handle the situation?
A lot of it's actually, I've seen grown adults do this. They act like they're fur babies or whatever, furries or something. Andy, I don't know.
What if your kid was going to school with the?
Leave him alone. Don't
like, no, like, what do you tell your kid?
Because he's probably going to be in the majority.
He may bite you,
he might bite your ass off.
You never know.
Might get rabies.
You hear that story about that woman? Because this happened to me too. My dog bit a lady, and my dog had to be like quarantined for 10 days. My dog bit this lady. It was like this homeless woman, like roaming the streets. She claimed my dog bit her. The police came. In the police report, it said no puncture wound, no swelling. But since the report was made in Coconino County, where I lived, they were like, your dog has to quarantine a minimum of 10 days. So I was like hiding out, dude. We were like a fugitive. They were coming to our house looking for us. My roommates are calling, like, dude, they're looking for you. So I had to turn my dog in, man, and my dog had to quarantine for 10 days. But this lady, dude, her dog was playing with like a dog toy, a bone or something, and her kid like kicked the toy away and then gave it to the dog, and the dog like bit the kid. So I don't know if she reported her own dog or whatever, but she had to quarantine her dog.
How long's this story?
And took it to a place to have it quarantined for 10 days at like a animal rescue place or whatever. She took it there, and then the next day realized, oh, you can actually quarantine your dogs at home. You don't have to take it to a facility. When she went to go pick up the dog, they euthanized the dog. The dog was dead. 2 hours after being there, they killed the dog. And now there's like a lawsuit going on because she's like, you didn't have the right to kill my dog. But apparently there's a box on the application that you have to check if you don't want your dog euthanized. And she wasn't told about that.
Oh, well, that
she didn't see it. Isn't that terrible?
I was wondering where that story is going.
Could you imagine if you would have went and picked up your dog?
I think that's happened to a couple people.
Has it?
Yeah.
And they just kill the dog just like that?
Yeah, man. I mean, they fuck up here and there,
And then they, like, decapitate the dog, it said in the story.
Decapitated?
Yeah, and they donate the brain of the dog to science.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever.
Dude.
Well, he's already dead. The dog doesn't know.
Oh, my God.
They're two-dimensional.
You think they win this lawsuit?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Because the facility's countersuing.
I mean, you know how much I love my little babies, and if that happened, I'd rain hell upon them in a horrible way. If they were dead, I don't know. It depends on the situation.
Rick Westhead had a report out today. You know who that is?
Yeah.
You follow him on social media?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Why, you want me to say something about
no,
it? What?
No, I'm asking you.
Because he's always negative or something?
Is he?
I only see, like, bad reports on things, but at least he's digging into some stuff, and people need to get called out and fined. But if you're just digging to dig, then
he had reported, I guess, Jonathan Huberdeau is the second player.
Huberdeau?
It's a lot of money, man. Would you
a
pay
lot
him
of money for
$10.5 million?
Fuck no. For him?
People are chirping me, being like, "Oh, that's the same contract that they offered Johnny Gaudreau, and he's the same age." I'm like, so what? Johnny Gaudreau plays shinny hockey out there, man. He ain't slowing down at 38. Johnny Gaudreau will still be buzzing around at 38.
I wouldn't pay either one of them.
I'm just saying. But he's come out and he said that he's going to donate his brain to CTE.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The second player to do that.
That's fine.
I think Ben Lovejoy was the other player.
I'd probably do it, too. If you want to take my brain, please learn
really?
something.
Well, you should tell Rick that, and he'll get that out there.
Well, that's nice thing to say. That's not negative.
No, I didn't say it was negative.
Oh.
Yeah. But I just asked if you follow him.
I do.
But I mean,
I think, man. I got to unfollow.
Do you think players should feel pressured to do that?
Nah, do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
My body, my choice.
You think you have CTE?
Unless Fauci. What?
You think?
Yeah, I do.
Fauci.
Fauci.
That's my guy. Fauci.
He would be your guy.
He's not my guy. Let me ask you this, because the Pee Wee Quebec tournament, legendary. I mean, iconic names have come through and played in the.
Of course, look at anybody's Wikipedia that's a hockey player. They played at this
legendary, just prestigious ice hockey tournament for Pee Wee players. There are a number of teams across the country who may not be able to participate, Cam, because you can't get into Canada unless you're
Still,
vaxxed.
you can't get into Canada.
And a lot of these kids aren't
Jesus.
vaxxed.
Dude, I had people ask me to do stuff up in Canada all the time.
Would you get vaxxed so you could go play in the tournament?
No.
At that age?
Nah.
You'd miss it? You got players, let me tell you this. You got players making USA Hockey.
That sucks for
international teams who aren't participating in tournaments up in Canada because
if it's
going to
affect it, I probably would. I would if I had a company that told me to do it, I'd probably do it. I mean, now I'd be like, what? Like, what? We know.
But back then.
Back then, when the first one hit you, man, when I first saw Ouchie Fauci the first time when he was talking.
Who was that?
When I first saw Ouchie Fauci, and I'm like, damn, this guy, fuck, okay, let's get behind this guy. And I'm like, wait, he didn't make sense. The months went by, and I'm hearing different things, and I'm doing my own homework. I'm not just listening. I'm reading shit. I got to do 3-hour radio show. I got to know shit about this. It's all we're talking about. I got to do my homework. I'm listening to different people on one side of the spectrum. On the other side, I'm in the middle with stuff. Then I started to be like, no. I don't believe a word you're saying now. And then I see the politics always creep into everything. And I'm like, whoa. And so now you look at it, you're like, if anybody makes you get vaxxed now, I'd be like, what?
Did Trump get vaxxed? Do you know?
Fuck yeah, he did.
He did?
He did it before anybody. He had that, whatever the hell Joe Rogan was talking about, antivivisection, whatever it is. You guys know if you know. And people bashed Trump for it. Trump fucked up the fucking whole COVID thing anyway. He should have he pissed a lot of people off.
By shutting down the country.
By shutting the fucking thing down. He pissed a lot of people off in his base.
But he was
a lot of people
off. He did. But a lot of it, he was going based on the recommendation of the FTC.
And listen, if you had a school and you had children, like, you have to err on the side of caution when you don't know.
The CDC. What'd I say?
I don't know what you said, Andy. I don't pay attention.
Isn't it
when
the
it comes to
CDC?
stuff. But like, if I'm in charge of a school, I would always err on the side of caution with stuff, with masks, just so you don't get fucking sued. But when you see these commercials still with kids with masks on, I'm like, God, would you just let the poor kids smile? Like, are we done with this? They're spitting on each other all fucking day. That he can't even talk with it. I just get so irritated. So I know why can't we get? I don't know. I just can't help it. It hits me. Like, I want people to be happy. I want to see your emotion. And now we kind of know, like, like.
What do we know now? We don't.
It's like the mask. It just didn't. Research didn't really work.
I don't think people think that way.
I think a lot of people think that way.
They do. They do. But I think if there was like another like major outbreak, they'd make you wear masks again. It's not like they would say, oh, don't wear the mask because they don't work.
Dude, that's what they'll make you probably shut down if you don't get they're vaxxed. It's scary now because they force you. They're firing people still. There's protests up in Canada because
they'll have like vaccine flavored baked goods at the grocery store and stuff like that next time. It's go get a smoothie with a booster.
Yeah, you're not boosting it. No, but or we'll fire you, or like people like, God, if you have that, you're the ones doing it. Now we know, like, no. I mean, it's just like.
But here's my question:
it's all good, and it does probably help people, but I'm just saying,
isn't by definition a vaccine?
I don't trust anybody.
Isn't by definition a vaccine something that prevents you from getting something?
Kind of. I mean, I would say like, if I was going to get a vax, I'd be like, that means I'm not going to get this particular thing. Like, I don't want to get it, but that wasn't, or spread it, and that's not the case either way. Now, some people could say, well, the statistics say that, and I'm like, I get it, but they lied to us a billion times. I know it's a fluid situation, but on the other hand, I don't trust any of those on either side. They're so fucked up. Fuck them. There's certain things that you could read. You could really do your research and listen to certain people, man. These politicians, they get this demon in them. They can't. They everything gets politicized. Mm-hmm. It's all about battling each other.
When did that start?
Forever ago. Now things.
What do you make of that Alex Jones dude?
Alex Jones is fucking crazy, dude. He's gonna get sued. Listen,
does he have the funds to?
Yeah, he's got money, but
he's got like a GoFundMe going.
He was right on a lot of stuff,
except for
major
the
stupid
bullshit.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But he was right on some things, but he's so wrong on things too. You take everybody with a grain of salt, Andy. Not everybody's always wrong. Not everybody's always right. You look at it.
Nobody's always right.
I know.
And
no one's always wrong.
wrong.
And well, some people might be always wrong. It's easy to be always wrong than always right. But my point is, you read everything and then make your decision.
Make your own decision.
Dude, I work with smart-ass dudes every fucking day that know politics like fucking you wouldn't. Andy, they would own your life. They own my life if I go toe-to-toe with them. They know so much shit. Their kids are involved in all the this, that, and the other. They read. They did this. And you just learn. I learn a lot from them. And they're on both ends of the spectrum.
It's hard to make your own decision.
It's not.
No, let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Hard to make your own decision and then convey what your own decision is without being ridiculed or judged or whatever.
Well, then sometimes you don't have a staunch decision on everything. This is where people are crazy. They see one thing like, that's it, yuck, this. Or the next thing's like, this. Wait, let's chill on this. Wait, what is this? Okay, well, what's this part of that? Now I'm reading this. So instead of this, like, no, let's chill. Like, okay, I get it a little bit, but we also have to understand. But people, God, use social media because everybody likes a virtue signal. And we get it here and there when I say goofy things on here. And I know I do, but I'm trying to entertain you guys. And if you don't agree with me, then I get it. But sometimes, man, like, you feel good when you correct somebody about something that you are so passionate about. Mm-hmm. And why you're that passionate about it, when you see something where people are attached to nowadays, it's so easy to jump back on that with everybody. Like, look, we think alike without really doing your homework on it. Because you can be like, this is what I believe, hashtag this. Well, what do you mean by that, though? Let's look it up for a quick. Okay, well, they're for this. You're into that? Wait, you sure about that? No, but my friends tweeted about it, so I'm going to jump on this. Mm-hmm. You kind of do that thing where you sway in the wind a little bit, Andy, with your decisions, like probably just like your neighborhood. But
although I may get those solar panels,
now, Andy, we're on the radio, so we have so many different people that think differently, and you see the text line, you see people, and you just learn. So you don't have to have a staunch opinion on something. You have to be willing
to learn, man.
You like what? Okay, accept makes sense.
Other viewpoints,
but I get what you're saying too.
Because you know what? Some people I think misread you a little bit because I get messages. They think that you only have one viewpoint, and if someone disagrees with you,
not at all,
you don't like that.
Oh, I'm the most open-minded motherfucker. Like, tell me something. Now I'll chirp you for crazy shit. Okay, like there's some shit like you want to indoctrinate kids about like sex and gender at 5, 6, 7 years old. Like, you ain't gonna convince me on that.
What about those that like identify as dogs?
As a 5-year-old, well, you're psycho.
Really?
You're a psychopath.
Is that not humanly,
you can quote me on that
humanly possible?
No, it's just ridiculous. Some people have brain things going, but like.
So should the school allow this person to attend school in a dog outfit and identify as a dog?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, what happened?
Because you're not a dog.
Somebody was putting.
Come over to my house. I'll show you my precious little puppies. They're a lot cuter than you weirdo. So no, and this is a podcast too. This ain't on the radio. Just so y'all know, like you have to click on this. Okay, if I say something, we're not posting on Twitter. Like, no, this is like we're just shooting the shit for an hour and a half, so we can entertain you while you're busting your. I
wake
ass.
up to a tweet yesterday, like lumping me into something that you said on social media.
I know, and I asked
what happened with that.
Well, he said something about rape. And he apologized. Nice guy. He's like, I didn't mean to virtue signal. Well, you tweeted about it without even like message. I keep my messages open. Message me first, and I'll be like, oh, my bad on that. We'll edit it out or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna listen to all y'all. But I'm like, I was a little hardcore. I said she's a breeder. Kylie Jenner.
Who are you talking about?
Kylie Jenner. She's a breeder. So if you have sex with her and she gets pregnant, you're like, oh, she got a ton of money. Okay, whatever. Oh. Maybe that was a little. Sorry, but that's not like I'm like, ooh, rape people. Deshaun Watson is my favorite. No, and I kind of explained that to him, and he's like, wait, you're right, and I'm sorry about that.
So
but time out. But then he kept the post, and he just like comments like, I talked to Cam, everything's okay. Like now I have to get your approval. And then you kept the other post up, and no one gives a fuck about your second post. They care about your first one. And the people that liked your first one don't even listen to the Cam Strick Podcast and don't even know who the fuck we are. They don't follow. I looked at all of them. They didn't follow us. So it's like you're virtue signaling to your little group of people that don't even know who we are. And you said we like raping people.
What's a virtue?
What?
What's a virtue signal?
How can you think that way? I'm better than you. I never do that. Well, fucking shit. We're in the entertainment business. We fucking say goofy ass shit sometimes. And now you're going to clip this, message me. And be like, no, I'll explain it to you. If it made you feel bad, I'm sorry. I'll explain it to you. But you did that, and then you comment, but you kept the motherfucking thing up there. And everybody that retweeted and liked it
didn't even know who the fuck Andy and I are.
I think Kylie Jenner is a
Jesus Christ.
her net worth is over $1 billion right now.
That's why I said that. I'm joking. So you know what I mean by that, though? Like, that's what I'm saying. So here, sum that up. He listened to the podcast, and he's a fan. He clipped off, he listens to one thing, and then tweets to everyone, which no one else that listens to the Cam Strick Podcast commented and said, yeah, Cam was a little off on that. Maybe I was, but no one from our listenership said anything. But the people that commented on his posts were people that don't even know who we are. So he's virtue signaling to his little core group about nothing they even know about because they don't listen to the podcast.
That's a strong accusation, though. Very strong accusation.
For him?
Yeah.
No shit. He brought your name first.
I know.
He didn't even say it was me. He brought you up. He's like, hey, Andy. And I'm like, Andy had nothing to do. It's always me.
Yeah.
He doesn't say stupid things. I do. Okay, I get that. So I was like, what the fuck? So I texted him. And it's just that's what I mean by virtue signal. You kind of did do it. So now the people that don't even know who we are looking at it like, we're saying Cam Jansen and Andy Strickland like raping people. What? Get out of here. That's all.
Somebody else, maybe it was the same guy who said I was condoning something that you were saying. It's part of the problem with the hockey culture or something.
Yeah, well, I think that was it.
That was the same thing.
Yeah. But I mean, we hear from people like I say, dude, we're trying to entertain. Like, look, sorry. To be honest with you, maybe I'm not. I consider myself kind of like a comedian, an entertainer comedian. Like we chirp everything. I chirp myself. I talk about my sex life.
Netflix
I talk about overdosing on pain. I talk about everything. I chirp everybody. I do my homework on shit, and I give my opinion on it. And sometimes I'm wrong. And if you correct me, I'll be like, yeah, you're right. But this time I'm kind of like, well, goddamn. It's just like
all the things. I mean, if somebody who reads that on social media,
no shit. You're like, what the fuck did Cam say there?
Mm-hmm.
It's about a condom with something, and maybe you could tie
with
it.
Kylie Jenner.
It's like
she's
she's banging her husband, and I'm like, well, if you've been pregnant, like, whatever. Like, sorry. Mm-hmm. Oh, are they off limits?
Should Bruce Jenner be allowed to participate in the
Andy, would you stop? You want more of these comments?
Olympics on the women's side?
No, and he wouldn't actually.
I think he said he wouldn't.
No, he's not. He's actually pretty cool. She's
like
cool.
She's cool.
My bad. I like Caitlyn Jenner. She's cool shit. She's fucking like, no, like this. I had to do it, but I tell you what, there's problems when you trans or you go through transition. This is where I had to go. Like she's honest. She's not like happy rainbows. No, I wanted to be a woman, and now I am.
Mm-hmm.
I did it, but no,
she always was a woman.
Yeah, all right.
Well, no, that's what she says.
She got. Inside, like her mind, yes.
Her mind, she was always a woman.
I know. Kicking ass. Mm-hmm. Imagine her in a women's anything.
Oh, my God.
Women's stuff. She'd kill.
Well.
Murder. I mean, like, wouldn't lose in anything by a mile.
Well, she didn't lose in the men's competition.
Know. Imagine.
It was the heptathlon, I think.
Triathlon or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not in it. Yeah, I ran track and all that, but.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Always get your kids into track, though. If they're athletes, yes, it's cheap. There's nothing to it, and you have to go toe-to-toe sprinting against people that are fucking fast. Mm-hmm. And it gets your fast twitch, get Ty into it. And Chloe should have got into track, too. Oh, yeah, in high school, Chloe, all track.
She's having some hip flexor issues.
Well, get stretched out. She's going to be okay.
Yeah, just stretch it out.
Oh, my God. Are you babying them?
No,
I'm serious.
So she's got
I worry
she's got a hip flexor injury, so I'm going to try to get her into Dr. Lehman so he can look at it.
Yeah, all right. But I'm telling you, get into track. And I always said wrestling, but, that's not what the Creve Coeur Racket Club likes, the wrestlers, They like the, whatever.
I used to see those dudes trying to make weight, running around with like a winter coat.
It makes you disciplined.
Around the pool.
Makes you disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes you disciplined. You're not eating crap.
My brother wrestled. Yeah. I listen. I like wrestling.
No, you don't.
Oh, absolutely.
But track, get them into track so they learn the fast twitch. Get them into hurdles so they're running and jumping. Get them into fucking toe-to-toe.
Back when I was in high school, I got in a little bit of trouble and had to do like 25 hours of community service. And my community service was working the concession stand at the wrestling meets. For 25 hours.
You would be. Andy's all these badass dudes are pinning each other and looking jacked in front of all the girls, and Andy's handing out sodas.
I had to do it.
That's all good.
Had to do it. All right, Ryan Strome's on this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast. Cool ass dude, gets a 5-year contract. I can see why he was respected inside that room with the Rangers, man. He's a good player. Comes from, like, a pretty impressive hockey family. These guys were like royalty in the hometown where they grew up in, man.
Goddamn right.
When you're Canadian and you get a lot of attention at a young age, man, and those little Canadian towns, they treat you like you're an NHL player, like 14, 15.
Well, they do it here now. Listen, if you're good on any team, I don't give a fuck if you're from Des Moines, Iowa. I don't care if you're from Eureka, Missouri. You're playing AAA hockey, and you dominate in these tournaments. Doesn't matter if you're from anywhere. Like, you're getting attention, dude. You're getting attention, and rightfully so, because everybody's looking at you. Like, who is this kid? Fucking dominating. Oh, he's from Des Moines? Oh, shit. Now he's going to be the kid from Des Moines,
Oh, there's
Iowa.
kids from Florida now?
Florida, Nebraska. I don't give a shit. There's athletes everywhere. Kid from Nebraska could go see a game one time with his daddy somewhere and be like, this is the coolest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. And all of a sudden he has rollerblades. He goes on this farm fucking land, whatever, and his asphalt there and stick handles for 12 hours a day. And he's tough because he had to do fucking bales hay. Then he's shit stomping cats and scoring. Oh, I can't wait to see. Will there, Andy, be another Wendell? No, Tom Wilson's not Wendell. Tom's close.
He's close to it.
But is it going to be like a Wendell, like a throw down the pipe will knock you out because he boxed or something?
Lucic was the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
Because he was scoring 30 goals at one point in time.
Yeah, he did.
You know?
That's what I mean. And Wendell went through weird phases because he was so hurt all the time.
Always hurt, man.
I always watch the hockey guy.
We had a great interview with Wendell, man. Anybody wants to go back and listen to that?
Yeah, I forgot about that. We got his ass on. That's right.
Check that out. But
Wendell.
Lucic, I'm trying to think of like who would be, in that category.
And Lindros, but Lindros wasn't going to, he did beat up some guys.
He was tough, dude.
He was tough. He was. But like, who's that? Or what about, who's the next guy that could fucking scare you?
Shanahan kind of was like that.
A little bit. And he was playing against monsters. So there ain't no monsters anymore.
No.
Like, you got like Delorier tough, but you're dangling cats. Where's that guy at? How can there not be one?
I don't know.
How can there not be a kid that's just so athletic, but he's a killer?
Because they don't grow up with that.
Up north, and I bet you in Saskatchewan, you still got that. I'll fuck you up.
Oh yeah.
I'll fuck you up. Old school. I don't give a shit attitude, right?
And then the combination of being just a great player too.
Yeah, it's just like you have unbelievable genes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
We
see Braden Shannon a little bit. He's not.
He's not hurt.
Not a killer.
No, I'm talking about 6'2".
I'm just saying the guy who like fights and plays
was
at
a
high
brawler,
level.
like just like even though it wasn't like playing, like you didn't brawl. What's that?
Oh, Brady Kachuk.
Yeah, Brady.
A little bit.
Good call, Brody.
Because
Brady's that. Yeah.
Because Brady will go toe to toe with you. He will. It's like, listen, Cam, it's modern day toughness.
I know what you mean. No, you're right.
It's like
I get what you're saying.
Like talking to Matthew Tkachuk the other day, he has like.
Wait a minute. Brady did you see his video of him boxing? On Instagram? He's posting.
Really?
He's boxing. There it is.
He's a monster, dude.
He's a monster. No, Brady's going to be the scariest guy in the league.
He's an absolute monster.
Brady's going to be the scariest guy in the league.
Yeah. Because
he'll hit you. He might catch you from behind. Yeah. He'll go to the net and like take everybody with him.
Matthew, he's a throwback player with modern day skill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't have too many guys like that either.
In your face, like
every whistle, like
what?
He's not just leaving the scrum. You know?
Yeah, man. Interesting. Very
so
interesting.
I love the throwback players.
I
think you'll start seeing more of those kind of come in because, our era, of people are having kids and raising hockey players, and I bet you they're going to instill a lot of that into their kids.
Yeah, it's in their blood.
So we'll see how that plays out. But people are going to like this interview with Ryan Strome for sure. By the way, Matthew Tkachuk, man, I hear he could have made, like by going to Florida, he's going to make about $4 million extra per year or something like that.
Wait, a year?
Yeah.
I don't think that makes sense.
His salary,
$4 million a year,
that he would have been paid in Calgary,
Brody, help me with that. Like
would equal somewhere in that $12 to $14 million range in Florida.
That's why Florida is the shit. That's why Missouri's so goofy with shit. By the way,
but the real estate
wouldn't they do that in
super
Missouri?
Expensive though, man.
Well, because depends on where you're at. You're in Orlando. Well, if you're in the middle of Florida, it ain't gonna be. But if you're on the coastline, yeah. But what isn't expensive? Find me you want to go to Alabama and live? Yeah. There ain't not shit going on.
Everywhere is expensive now, man.
I know, except for Alabama. North Carolina's getting there. I mean, but like everything's expensive. Mm-hmm. If you want to, there's shit to do in Florida.
I got a buddy who's he was over the other night, man. I hadn't seen him in a couple years, and he lives in Seattle, dude. I mean, you talk about expensive.
It's expensive as fuck.
Seattle's almost like the Bay Area now.
It's northwest United States is expensive as shit.
But the Bay Area is almost to New York City.
I wouldn't Missouri. You know Missouri's so goofy sometimes. Fucking state sometimes. They're old school. Like, no marijuana. They're doing the vote on the weed thing on November 8th. The gambling thing, like, let's go. Like, everybody's going to Illinois to get weed now. You're missing all that money. You could fill some of these fucking potholes here.
All of a sudden, they got enough signatures for it.
They're such they're so old school, like.
Yeah, but it's like, I think the government's saying how much money we could be like. This needs to get on the ballot. I find it hard to believe in a very short period of time.
Well, why would you have no income tax? Why would you do what Florida and Texas does?
Of signatures?
Why wouldn't you do what Florida and Texas does in Missouri and invite people to move here? Mm-hmm. Would you would invite so much business and shit if you didn't have income tax, state income tax.
Part of it would be getting the city and the county to merge.
The city's so fucked up. They've been fucked.
There's only like 2 metropolitan areas, I think, something like that in the country.
Why would people? But you gotta understand. Why would people way out where I live be like, oh, you guys have been so great for the past 45 years. You've been so great. You've been a dump. And you politicians are the shittiest of all shit in St. Louis, next to Chicago, just so you know. And now you've made every bad decision possible, and we want to we want to combine with you now for what? We don't even go downtown. Why the fuck do we want to have anything to do with you? You've been fucked up for a long time. Why do you think everybody leaves you and comes out here?
Maybe it'll make it better.
Maybe it will, but you can understand where people will be reluctant.
I know.
Reluctant.
All right, Ryan Strome on this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast. Enjoy this one as always. Follow all our social media. We're going to have some hats coming up. Thanks to our friends from Victor Hockey. Hopefully we'll have those as soon as this week, potentially, and then we'll have those up on the website. People can order their new hats, their Cam and Strick hats, and everything else that they want to get. So support all our sponsors, man, including Hair Club and hairclub.com.
Yeah, my bald spot's getting – it's just getting to a point where it's really, really big, you know. I might have to get some shit done.
Well, you got to get it done. Why let it go?
I don't know.
Good question. It's not going to fix itself, dude. It's not going to fix itself.
Oh, I know. And you get financing with it, too.
Yes, you can. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. That's our landing page. And sign up for your first consultation from there. You're going to get $250 off your first consultation. Regrow, replace, and restore your hair. It's like the 3 R's. That's what they go by over there at Hair Club. So check it out, hairclub.com, 800-279-7878, baby. All right, CarShield and carshield.com. I was thinking about CarShield today, man. I mean, how lucky you are if you're ever – I saw people on the side of the road. Man, I see it daily, Cam. And people on the side of the road, they're broken down something, and you're thinking, man, do they have CarShield? Do they not have CarShield? I know. Only if they did.
This is going to be a process.
Oh, it's a process if you don't. 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM, which is very embarrassing.
Yeah, but it's easy. You know.
What does that do for you?
Just put CAM. You don't have
to
and
you get what? Else. What do you get? You get
20%.
Oh, 10%.
10%. Well, if you put Cam's cool, it might be 20%.
That may get denied. You never know. But it's going to save you money, so go ahead and do it.
It helps us out.
Helps everybody out. I mean, if you don't have CarShield by now, something's wrong. Listen, a lot of our listeners have taken our advice. And you should too. 800-857-2481. You never know when your starter is going to go out, Cam. It could be the alternator, could be the brakes, could be the engine, could be the computer, and you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars, man. Get the simple task, which is to be a member with CarShield, and then you're taken care of in case something goes down. All right, Bellman and Bellman.com. Say hi to Danny Boy and everybody else.
What's up, homies?
What are you looking for?
A shit kicker. Man, I want maybe a 3/4 ton with all black, quad cab, all tinted windows. I want black rims on that. Something I can carry, something big if I decide to get a boat. I know it's a lot of stuff right away, but like I got shit to do at the house. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we still got to sell more.
when I talk about boats, I always think big, guys. It's like, I'm getting a boat. I'm done. No. But I like to dream big, and be like, that would be a cool toy to have is that R33 Cobalt, and I need a
R33?
R33 Cobalt. You could sleep on that thing.
Oh, the boat.
Yeah, the boat. And then I want a cool,
it's like a house boat.
Like a high country like I have now, but a new one.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Danny can help you out with that, man. Get out to Troy and go take a look.
I will.
I mean, you act like it's just going to all of a sudden land on your roof like a UFO. Get out to Troy and go look at it because they got a lot of options there. By the way. They got the. Are you?
Listen, UFOs.
Crazy shit happens when you're buying a power plant.
UFOs are attracted to
you
power
need something
plants
to protect
and national forests.
The
look all that up.
of your house. So those.
Telling you.
So those.
Dude, my house is made of stone, Andy.
So those signals
made
are
of
creeping
cardboard.
its way in.
Andy's house is made of cardboard.
It's not.
Mine's made of little stone.
All right. So anyway,
you got a nice backyard though.
Yeah, I do.
Your house looked good. You had pictures the other day.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
When Andy took a picture of like his Traeger going, there's nothing in there, and he just like films his Traeger. Like, I wonder what's inside. Probably nothing cool.
Ask what's inside.
But your all your pictures look cute. You and Lori look cute.
Yeah,
in your
thanks,
pictures.
man.
You did. See, you notice that like I chirp Andy. But I give him. I always like comment on his like Facebook posts. I comment on your wife's page. I give you American flags.
I don't
all the
post
time.
on Facebook very often.
I give you. Andy does never compliments me for anything.
That is not true, dude.
Ever anything I do.
How could you say such a thing?
It's always something. My face look fat. My shirt look goofy. I pump your tires up, and I know I'm self-conscious because I do look like shit in these pictures. I hate wearing shorts.
Just wait till the summer.
I look overweight.
The fall.
I know.
You can put a coat on.
I know. God.
You know?
That's another thing. Like, I'm dressed for the fucking ball
Are you
game.
still doing the Peloton? Or the bike? It's not even a Peloton.
That thing's annoying.
You're not doing it?
Well, we're hiking. We're gonna.
Cam's got his.
I'm golfing all the time.
Are you?
Like, I'm doing shit.
That's not exercise.
I push up. I do 30.
You think
300
walking's
push-ups.
good for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, you're not eating. You're crushing water and you're walking for 12 miles.
If you
you're not doing
you know
for
you
4
can
hours.
lose weight by drinking a lot of water too.
Yeah, I know, flushes you out, Andy.
Yeah. Like if you increase your water intake, you can lose a lot
Andy,
of weight.
I played professional. I'm a professional athlete.
I'm telling you.
I get weighed in every fucking day by Lou Lamoriello.
Well, you can have that water weight too.
You act like
you
can
have that water weight.
Andy only looks up to people that he didn't look up to me because I didn't score enough goals for him. Because he'll be like, I interviewed Keith Kachuk. I'm better. No, like I played pro hockey. Mm-hmm. Like I know how to get weighed in. I know what water does to you. I know what it doesn't do to you. Like I know that kind of stuff.
Is that true? No, I know you do all that, but I mean, water. You can have the water weight also, though. But if you increase your water intake, you can lose a lot of weight, man. I'm just telling you.
Thanks.
So increase your water intake. You got water with you right now?
Science by Andy. What's that?
You got a water right there.
Just I'm drinking goddamn Miller Lite right now. Yeah, man, I'm chilling now. I'm gonna go take a goddamn
Bellman's got the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side, man. They got something for everybody. Fall's right around the corner, and Cam's predicting the most a historic winter.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nasty.
I mean, if you're wrong about this, you're scaring a lot of people.
Farmer's Almanac.
Is that what it's telling you? I'll check it out. I'll turn on my weather radio and see what it has to say.
Actually, somebody sent me it today on.
How much snow are we getting, do you think?
Yeah, Andy, I don't know about that. I just know what the trends are with stuff. I'm not predicting.
Well, you did predict it, is what you said.
I'll show you right now.
Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and then on the other side you got the Buick
winter
GMC.
Almanac. Expect a hibernation zone in Missouri this winter, Almanac says. Ugh. Get your coats ready, St. Louis. We're in for one.
Wow.
After a hard summer with historic flooding, several heat waves, we only enjoy the last bit of fall before the winter rocks us once more. The Old Farmer's Almanac released its predictions for the upcoming winter season, and Missouri falls into the hibernation zone. That means a snow-filled glacial season. That's hardcore glacial season. Damn. See, everybody's worried about getting too hot. People are like, fucking, when it gets cold, that's what kills you.
Well, I find that August this is like the most mild August we've ever had.
I hate August.
Really? That's your least favorite month?
Yeah. February's not that good, but it's just hockey going on then.
Well, there's hockey in August.
I'm not watching that.
You won't watch it at all, huh?
The World Juniors?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably going to go home and...
There's some good-ass players that will say that.
I'm just not into it. I'm not talking about it in my show. What do you want me to do? We're in Missouri.
No one gives a shit.
You just
here.
watch it. We got a kid.
I like watching
who
pro
played
things.
AAA Blues who's playing for Team USA.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Hunter
okay.
McGowan. I'll give him a
pump his
shout out.
Yeah, okay.
Can't believe he didn't get drafted. Like, I'm not saying like he should have gone in the first round or whatever, but like he gets 7 rounds and nobody took his ass.
Well, fine. Have a grudge then and fucking bring it. Do your thing, dude.
He's a good player.
And dominate and show everybody.
He'll sign an NHL
Then
deal.
there it is.
Yeah.
Then dominate. You're in the spotlight, kind of, because hey, the right people that are going to be picking you to do things, they're all watching. Who cares about us? You'll be popular when you play in the NHL anyway. But go do your thing, kids. St. Louis boy, little shout out. Thank you, Andy, for that. And I don't mean to be ignorant on World Juniors right now. I'm just I live like I'm not like I don't need to talk about it. I got to watch Cardinals and stuff. Like I got to do
Leo Loof.
Who?
Leo Loof.
Yeah, okay. What about him?
He's a defenseman for Sweden.
Yeah.
Got suspended in the December tournament, so he already had to miss a game beginning here in August. And then last night he hit this Brock Faber, who's a good defenseman, who's now a prospect for the Minnesota Wild, hits him from behind, and they reduced it from a major to a minor. He's lucky because he could have been looking at another suspension. But he's coming to the Blues not too long. Not too far from now.
He's the guy that's rocking cats.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
From behind, though.
Well, that's not good.
No.
Actually, if you hit me from behind, I'm kind of pissed
But there's some hits going on, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. Maybe I will watch
Just watch it a little bit.
I know, but there's a lot.
Although Russia's not there. You think Russia should be there or no?
Yeah.
Holding it against these kids.
I know, well, the kids have nothing to do with anything. I get why they.
You know who else wants Russia there?
Who?
The Scouts.
Russia? No shit.
They want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like who these kids are, how they look against the top competition.
Don't be like the Blues did in 2002 and draft 3 Russians off the bat that did nothing.
What do you mean? Oh, in 2002.
Yeah, my draft year.
Yeah, you're going way back. Yeah. Who'd they take?
Anton Kodakin.
Oh.
I heard him in training game.
Did you?
You
talking about the Devils?
Yeah.
Oh, you said Blues, yeah.
No, I said Devils.
Oh.
Or did I?
You
I
said
meant
Blues.
Devils.
You said Blues, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Devils.
Yeah.
I got drafted by the Devils.
Okay, yeah. So you said Blues.
Komatov.
So they took a couple Russians, and then you heard it, kid?
Yeah.
Was that intentional because you were mad that he went ahead of you?
His head down, man. Okay. And they signed him.
That's a cheap shot, dude.
No, his head down.
Go after that Russian kid like that.
Dude, they were fucking ignorant. And this guy, Ivan Kumatov, dude, was such a fucking weirdo. You put the fucking heat up to 90 degrees at night. You walk around in his underwear, tighty whities.
Who's this?
He had a fucking mullet. He pissed all over the toilet seat. Pissed me off. I told my parents I wanted to kill him.
Oh, really?
And my mom and dad.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Well, I did on the ice. And
That's the kid who you hurt?
That's his buddy Kadakin. And they got drafted in front of me. I'm like, who are these two? They never had a sniff. Never did anything. They were loud. They thought they were cool. They were dicks to people. And I was roommates with one. I wanted to fuck them up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
and
crazy.
I call my parents like, I want to kill this motherfucker. My mom and dad, don't do it.
Don't do that.
Do it on the ice. Do it on the ice. Do it on the ice. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, do it on the ice. That's a good suggestion right there. Do it on the ice.
I never roomed with anybody like that. I wanted to kill him.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's tough having a bad roommate. But,
fuck.
Listen, Dan Bellman, though, check it out, Bellman Automotive in Troy, Missouri, and check out all their selection. They've got a great pre-owned selection, too, Cam. It's not just the new cars. And if you've got credit issues,
what are you looking at?
No problem whatsoever, man. You got credit issues. You are guaranteed to pass that test, man, and they'll put you in a vehicle, no problem whatsoever. So check that out and do it today. Get out there to Troy. All right, get your waggleon.com, man. Waggle Golf. That was a big hit. I put that on social media. Somebody told me I actually, Jeff Brown said I look jacked in that picture.
So it's so funny, like Andy's social media, when he has to do like these like pictures of him with clothes on, especially golf clothes, it's so fake because it's like, look, I'm wearing Waggle Golf, but you're not going anywhere.
I'm going golfing.
No, you're not. No, you didn't.
I went to the range.
And he didn't have a course. He's not going to a course. So he's just like, look, I'm wearing it in my living room with a fucking tag on. And I'm like, I'm doing things with this. Like, what are you doing?
I wanted to leave the tag on for the picture.
I take a picture.
It said Waggle on.
I'm on fucking a badass course. I got the pond in the back. I got the course in the back.
You didn't even take a picture wearing it. You were like on the other side of the golf cart. I couldn't even see you. Did I see a wrong one?
No,
am I missing one?
It was me and Kate. We
couldn't even see you. You were on the other side. She was driving the golf cart too.
Everybody's confident on, but like Andy does it, and then he takes it off and puts his T-shirt back on, and he, this is whatever. But you like, it's like I watch that. I'm like,
You're wearing it, but you're not going anywhere
Yes,
with it.
I am. How do you know that?
Where'd you go?
To the Hit the Balls with Ty. We've been working on a number of different things. We're like trying to do we're doing all sports now, you know?
Yeah.
We got lacrosse.
Everybody's in these kids are in lacrosse, man.
They're all into lacrosse. Lacrosse is very good, and in terms of the crossover with hockey too, it's very good. But golf, man, the waggle stuff though, honestly
So
though,
nice,
it's
dude.
so nice,
You do look
and
good
it's
in
so comfortable.
it. You look good in it, man.
And you know, I know people are chirping me about the hat size. Hey, you can't do anything about that.
You got a small head.
Small
dude.
head.
It's all good.
Small
I got
head.
a big head. You got a small head.
But I like to keep the hats
You got
loose.
good hair. Your
though,
hair's
man.
fine.
I'm not trying to like tight.
look
I don't
good.
like it too tight on my head.
I don't know. That
You know?
causes migraines.
Yeah. Oh, does it? Is that what it does?
Does to me.
Okay. Yeah, so get your waggleon.com. That's the website. Check out all their apparel. And they've got women's
awesome
apparel.
stuff, man.
They've got
They
the
really
quarter zips. I know the weather's going to get cool here, hopefully in the next month or two.
It is funny though. Like I'm on the course playing golf with it on, and you're just like in your living room with a tag on it.
It's a good picture.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
All your pictures you look good in, dude. You do.
And I kept the tag on. People were like, oh, you left the
No,
tag
I
on.
said that.
Well, it's on there because it says WAG. I want people to know who's making this shirt.
You said it on the
That's
thing.
for branding.
Yeah, but you said it on the thing.
Yeah. So check that out.
Yeah.
If you're looking to see what the shirts look like on a human body, check out my Twitter. You can go check that out. And go buy your own shirt.
Human body.
Get your
He's in his living
waggleon.com.
room.
Waggle Golf, though. Honestly, the selection is incredible. It fits true to size,
really good.
and it's
I
so
like it.
comfortable. They've got the hats and the quarter zips and everything else. So, all right, Ryan Strome, he's a big golfer, too. Free agency on his wife's birthday, man. That must have been stressful. And then they were having a huge party, like an 80s party or something like that they were having. Remember they were planning a party or I don't know.
He did say it was like the most stressful day in his life. I'm
did.
like, you're doing pretty good then.
It's pretty stressful for some people.
Andy, you're worried about getting $25 million. Like, just remember who you're talking to. Remember, like, if that's the most stressful day of your life, you're talking to good old boys fucking grinding all week long. Like, they're like, oh, that's stressful.
You been watching Hard Knocks yet or no?
Yeah.
It's my favorite show.
I like the fucking coach of the Lions. Why are you
Dude.
changing the subject? I'm making a point.
Because
I'm just saying.
the
I had
coach
to,
of the Lions,
like-
he uses the word man with such conviction, man.
Yeah, that's why
You know
you
what
would
I'm
make
saying?
that team.
Oh, I would. I like him, man. He's
like
a
him,
former
too.
player. He's got
Yeah.
all former players surrounding him. You know,
Yeah, he's cool.
I just hope that they're able to turn. I
do
like
too.
the Lions.
I do too.
It's just like a job that's like I don't know. You just kind of go there
I
to
know.
fail.
Yeah.
But Hutchinson, man, the second overall pick, he got a $23 million signing bonus. That's not bad. They used to get like $50 million signing bonus.
I know, like Bradford.
Oh yeah,
How'd he do that?
Bradford.
So, but my
Long.
point is, it's like when he said that,
Chris
I was
Long.
like, it wasn't that bad. Like either you're getting 20 or 25 million. Like it's actually a pretty good day.
Yeah. No, it's a great day.
So that's why I'm like,
But
when
it's
you're like,
kinda
it's stressful.
stressful.
Like, okay,
and
just remember.
David Perron said it was stressful too.
just remember,
He had to tell his kids he's not coming back to St. Louis.
it's all good. You're gonna be okay. And I love him, and he listens, and I love that kid. But you're okay. So remember who you're talking to. You're talking to people fucking grinding it, dude. So always remember that. Sometimes you're just a little bit like you gotta like, oh, it's stress. So what? You go there and
Still got to
dominate.
move and everything.
I know. Just remember who you're talking to.
It's very stressful. You just don't know where you're going to go. It's your wife's birthday. She wants attention.
Jesus
You're
Christ.
dealing with your
you can get a fucking
agent.
private jet. You can get a helicopter to get her. Just remember who you're talking to.
What's a plane cost?
A lot.
Give me a number.
Like, if you made $50 million, you're not flying private consistently.
Not true.
Not good private jet. Yeah, maybe you
That's
are.
not true at all.
No, not making $50. No, if you had $20 million in the bank, maybe you would. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you
It's
would
very
be.
Andy is very expensive.
It's probably about
Like what our boys do.
yeah, it's probably about 20, 25
They're
grand
make-
per flight.
They
something
make a
like
lot
that.
of money.
The fuel cost now too.
Andy, it's so
They
expensive.
going to make hybrids with planes too, or
Hey,
no?
there's guys that made $80 million in the NHL. That
Well,
don't
they
fly
make
private.
hybrids with planes. That's a good question.
Not yet.
Electric.
Hey, tell about Leonardo DiCaprio. Will tell you about the rising seas and stuff, and he's on his 300-foot fucking yacht, telling us about climate change.
Really?
Yeah. Andy.
Would you buy a yacht?
Fuck yeah! If I had the money and rent it out,
What's that cost?
$50 million. Depends on what kind of yacht.
And what are you doing on that yacht? Like, I mean,
cocaine and hookers, like they're fucking Russians, oligarchs do.
I just feel like, man, being on a yacht, like you could easily sink, you can get lost. I don't know.
Those things don't sink that well. You hide yourself. You're not going in the middle of fucking Atlantic like a fucking sea-bound fucking whaling ship. You're fucking sitting on different coastlines, going in the air. You know when the weather's coming in, you can go hide behind a little mountainside in Exuma where the winds escape the winds.
How fast can those things go?
20 knots.
20 what?
Knots, 25 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour.
And to go from one island to the next? I mean, how long does that take, dude?
An hour.
Hour?
Andy, what questions are you asking?
I'm talking about if you're going up and down the coast.
You're like talking to a child.
You're going up and down the coast.
That takes a couple days to go slow.
Yeah.
They're not
25
that fast.
miles per hour.
Depends on if you got the Lamborghini yacht like fucking Conor McGregor has. That thing go probably
like Michael
45
Jordan's yacht.
That thing's slow. It's probably 30 miles an hour at the most.
Wow.
Cost you out the ass. Fill that thing up. Cost you $15,000 to fill it up.
He's got the money. He's fine with that.
Yeah, I know.
But
if you had the money, you could have got. Yeah, I would.
Can Ryan Strome, like, is he flying?
He ain't no. He ain't flying private.
Is he buying a yacht like that?
He'll do what like Walt does here and there, and get those little Cessnas and pop here and there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But Walt ain't fucking flying like our boy does that flies us around. He ain't doing that. Brett Hall ain't doing that. I asked him. He's flying commercial. Chris Pronger's flying commercial. They all are. They got a ton of money.
But they can fly private whenever they want.
Here and there, a little puddle jump here and there, but they're not consistently doing it.
No.
That's what I'm saying. When you consistently have a credit card at Millionaire Club and
listen to me. You typically own your own plane, too.
No, not really. You just rent them out. No, you don't. These guys, some guys do. The big boys will have a plane.
Yeah.
But a lot of our buddies that have a shit ton of money will go to Millionaire Club, Jet Links, and rent them.
Yeah.
And rent, maybe someday you have an 8-seater. Someday you have a 12-seater. Depends on where you're going, how many guys you have. And it costs you go here from here to Scottsdale, it's going to cost you $50,000 at least. And then $50,000, it's a lot a money.
Yeah. Maybe not that much, but I know what you're saying.
It's up there. Depends. Like
probably in that 20 to 30.
The 12-seater?
Yeah. A 12-seater.
Yes.
Yeah.
We go down to Nashville for fantasy camp.
Yeah.
And we got 16 dudes on
That's
that thing.
not costing $50,000 probably.
Yes, it is.
You think?
Yes, it's an expensive ass plane. That's a big plane that we took. We had Bobby on there, Bobby Plager and all them. Yeah. That's expensive as shit. Big boys aren't doing that. Now those big MLB guys could fly. Albert Pujols probably could. But it costs you,
of course he can.
like consistently though.
Consistently.
I bet you he does commercial.
Bet you he doesn't. That dude's flying private everywhere.
I know he flies private when he was in Anaheim.
I know people that fly private nonstop all the time, and they don't have that much money. They don't have $600 million.
They don't fly private nonstop all the time.
Yeah, he does. He owns his own plane. He's got 5 planes, actually. And a helicopter.
And he hangs out with all the big dicks,
I'm
obviously.
just telling you.
Let's
get to Ryan Strome. We'll talk planes afterwards. Enjoy this interview. Presented by Hair Club on the Cam Strick Podcast. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now up to the interview.
Hello?
Strome dog. What up, man?
How's it going, guys? How you doing?
Where are you right now? Yeah. Are you in Canada?
I'm in Mississauga right now, actually, still. So I got two girls that are 2 years old and 10 months. So my wife has been out a little bit today, so I'm on duty. So what a day it's been.
Double duty right there.
I know what that's like. Do you just watch the clock? I'll never forget when I my first and second kid, my wife was kind of working she was working at Lululemon.
Don't bore him,
and,
please.
No, listen. And I would watch the clock. Okay, she's going to be home in 1 hour. Okay, she's home in 30 minutes. Please get home and rescue me.
Yeah, you're carrying one of the kids and you're slowly looking out the front window, but try not to pretend like you're looking for a car.
And doing a podcast all at once.
Yeah, I know.
Appreciate this, man. Hey. What's your setup like in Mississauga, though, dude?
I got a good setup here. I've lived here my whole life, actually. So I actually just finished building a house probably a year and a half ago, right before COVID, actually. So it was really good timing.
Yeah.
And right around my parents, I got a gym in the house and stuff. And my brothers actually come work out here in the morning. So my setup is pretty set up for having 2 kids and keeping the body ready to go and all that stuff. So Mississauga is great. There's so much available, like hockey wise, and resources with skating. There's no lack of options. So it's no, I like it here. It's good.
Is it expensive to build and all that stuff there?
It's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. Like we bought the property. I bought my house like when I first after my first or second year in the NHL. I just found like an amazing deal that like I never thought I would find near my parents, because it's a good neighborhood and like somewhere you want to maybe live your whole life. And got lucky enough and then made some money, and I'm like, okay, let's do a big renovation. Did the renovation, and now I got the family, so things have kind of fallen into place. I feel like you just follow the NHL player mold, so you learn from the guys in front of you, and you follow along. So
yeah, man, damn right.
Who fucked
Follow
up?
the good ones, though. By the way,
hey, now you got that 5-year contract, though.
Right.
So you might as well put on another edition there, Ryan.
Well, now they've been doing a little bit of real estate hunting at Newport Beach, and it's no joke down there. So now it's scrounging up the pennies from the house and trying to put them all into the pile to buy a house there. So no, it's going to be unreal. I'm super excited, and 5 years is, like I mentioned, the family stuff. That's really nice for them, because the last few years on 2-year deals, moving around and not being so sure where you're going to be is not the easiest with kids. So hopefully we're here for a few years and can settle in. And, the girls have no excuse now to get their golf game and their soccer game and tennis game up to notch before we come back to Canada in, X amount of years.
Golf and tennis. Listen to you. I love it.
If you're bored there, you got a problem.
Hey, but like, how does that work? Okay, so you build the house in Mississauga. It's probably like a couple $1 million in terms of building the house that you're talking about right now. And then now you got to buy another house. Like, what kind of house are you looking for here in Newport Beach? Is it like a second house, or do you set the standard in Mississauga? You got the wife. You signed the 5-year deal, man. You got to get.
You're middle of the pack
nice,
over
man.
there, homeboy. Just so you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, it's a good question, but honestly, I've been really lucky. I got connected with a really great financial advisor when I was younger, and it was all kind of about like building towards a plan and trying to be financially independent when the time comes. And honestly, like every part of this along the way is just part of the plan we built, maybe 8-10 years ago. And to have a second home and, either a cottage or, whatever city you're playing in has always kind of been part of the plan. So, we definitely go over budget from time to time. I can't lie about that. But, all in all, I think, it's one thing how much money you make, but the biggest thing I think is how much you're able to save and be smart with it. And it's certainly not easy, the lifestyle we live. I think you get sucked into this and that, and you get all these ideas and these vacations, but all in all, we're doing pretty good. So we're just trying to live a good life, set up a good life for our kids, take care of the families and our parents. And, that's all you can really do.
Yeah. But you're one of the big dogs now, though. But when you're the guy making like 6-7 hundo, and you got guys making 10 schmil, and you're like, oh, he's doing that, I could do that too. Well, no, you can't. There's a big gap there. So you all replicate each other, but the big boys are okay, and the young guys are like, well, I can't keep doing this.
100%. I think when you come into the NHL, you think, I got my entry level, got my signing bonus. You get some hockey card deals, you get a deal from, stick deal from Bauer or Warrior or whatever. You're like, oh, here it goes, and then. If you don't step up that contract earning, life gets expensive, right?
You get used to it.
Kids, and like I said, like everyone, I feel like it's like a copycat league, not only on the ice, but off the ice, with vacations and Christmas presents and bags and watches and everything. So
yeah, man,
everyone gets sucked down that rabbit hole a little bit. So.
Damn right.
Hey, so how do you pick where you go? Is it as simple as who's giving you the terms and the money that you're looking for? Are you looking to identify a specific market? Because like you've lived in like really expensive markets, man. When you think about like New York City's not cheap, and you're not going to a cheap market shit. Now. Did you check to see if there was anything available in Carolina or something before you signed
Florida?
Well, it's funny how free agency works. Like, leading up to it, I've never really been through this. As an unrestricted free agent, but this team calls, and you get excited, you get this, you get that. But, when it boils down to it, I think I listened to something Johnny Gaudreau said the other day, and like, your date finally comes in as free agency, and like, it's not like there's like 20 teams calling. Like it's, teams, I think, identify certain guys and they go after them, and the teams are pretty realistic with the cap crunch and what they're able to afford. So, for me, like there was a whole bunch of different options and in terms of length and this and that. But for me, it was just, let's get the longest term possible, 5 years for the family. And, and like I'm not definitely, you never know what happens in this business, but living in rental houses and stuff like that is, listen, the NHL is a great life, but I've become such an expert packer. I just want to sit down and settle down and get up after the season and go home and leave my stuff there. So hopefully we can do that now. And, in Southern California is a pretty good spot to do it.
Isn't that a bitch though? Doing that, I know, man. And I used to like bring my shit from St. Louis to Jersey, and then you open up the U-Haul and it's all like fucked up. And you're like, I'm not doing that again. So you might as well just simplify and just rent furniture. But man, it just all adds up and moving and moving. It's a pain in the ass.
It honestly is like one of the worst parts about it. Like me and my wife, like I feel like we've become so good at it that's almost scary. Like she gets everything in these big bins from the storage container, or whatever the hell those stores are called. Yeah. And then I load them in the car. I play Tetris in the back and I squeeze the dog in and I just trek home. And it's just, honestly, we're lucky to live this life and lucky to get to experience living in so many different places. But that's one of the things that when this whole ride is done, I will not miss whatsoever.
Okay. So you've been around, like you understand, like I'm sure your agent's kind of filling you in, but like even like last off season, I heard rumors that maybe New York was looking to potentially move you. They're probably looking ahead in terms of whether or not they can sign you to the next deal. Like do you know, like throughout the course of the season that like, hey, your time will likely be up in New York and that you're moving on? Like how do you mentally prepare for that?
You know what? I think I've tried to just focus on what I can control. I know it's such a cliche, but I think this year for me, the unknown was a good unknown. It was, you're probably going to make a lot of money. You're probably going to do well. And, I'm happy with the way it turned out. I mean, there was a point in the season where I thought I was really going to stay in New York, and I wasn't really sure. But, the whole time I was just pretty transparent. I said, I want to be here, but what can we do? And then we decided to park it to the end of the season. And then when you do that, I think it opens the door for anything. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. I mean, I definitely am sad leaving my buddies in New York, and we had a good thing going, but I'm happy I got to experience unrestricted free agency as a player. It was, a little more stressful than I thought, but I think I wanted to at least see what else was out there. And I played for the Islanders too, so I've lived in New York like 8 of the last 9 years in the New York area. So I think it was time to see something else. And as sad as it is to go, because New York's such a great place and the organization is really good, I'm really excited for California and to play for the Ducks, and just a new challenge for me, and really a team on the upswing, I think.
New York's a pain in the ass too, just so you know.
Yeah, oh, it's pretty nice. And you lived in Edmonton too. You could have had that view that Connor McDavid has. He's got that. He's got that landfill in the backyard. It's a nice house. Don't get me wrong. Like how was that experience in terms of living in the city there?
And I actually really liked playing in Edmonton. Obviously there's a lot of pressure, and people are really concerned with the team, and there's like 5 radio stations and talking about the game and all that stuff. It is hard to get away from, but at the same time, I think the people in Western Canada are like super low key and super polite, and it's a slow pace of life. And we really enjoyed that. There was a ton of outdoor space. I mean, it was pretty cold, but to get out there with the dog, we had just had a dog at the time. We go, walking and do a whole bunch of things that, New York, you can't really do. So we really enjoyed it. We got to go to Banff and do some skiing and all that stuff. So it was a short time, but we tried to, do the best we could. And I'm sure in California it'll be no different, but I'm excited to hopefully trade in the skis for a surfboard and, try that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude. Get that tan on, man. Are you kidding? Fires on the beach. Oh, dude. It's a little nicer in Edmonton.
Flip-flops.
Hey, you know what sucks in Edmonton, by the way? And probably Mississauga, but more in Edmonton, is like you get a brand new truck or something, and you just see it like deteriorate in like 2 years because of all the damn salt. And you're like, good God almighty. Man, you're going to like it down in Southern California, bud. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm pumped, but the good thing about Edmonton though is everyone gets free cars, so you're driving a company car, so I don't really care what it looked like. So there you go.
Yeah, you might not get that down in Cali.
Although Sheldon,
I don't think so, but that's okay.
You'll get a scooter down there.
Yeah,
that's right.
And a bike,
right.
and a bike.
You'll get gas too.
Hey, you'll have some rollerblades.
Yeah, that's right. 100%.
Although Sheldon Surray told us that they wouldn't like let you guys park the cars, like they wouldn't like start your cars or something like that in Edmonton. Remember, he was like saying how cold the car was when you get in. Was that an issue for the guys when you were there, or no? I guess when McDavid got there, it was probably like, okay, everybody start the cars.
Yeah, we're starting over.
Well, I was in the new rink, and like actually, it was funny. It's so cold outside, but you basically go from your living room to your car, and then you drive underground, and you park underground, and you walk up into the dressing room. So like, there was no issues with the cold cars when I was there. So.
Yeah, man.
Hey, What was life like for you? I mean, listen, it's always a crazy story, man. You know, like whenever you see like multiple kids from a family like make it to the NHL, it's just crazy. You got 3 brothers, all drafted. I know, like, you know, you and Dylan obviously established. Your younger brother still, you know, finding his way, and hopefully he's able to have a long career as well, man. But you know, just that pressure. Like, I mean, what was it like for you guys growing up? Like the Strome brothers, like everyone knew who you guys were, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, you know what? It was. I mean, it's hard to compare to other families because we were just us, right? But we just lived it, man. Honestly, like all day, it was just like mini sticks. It was road hockey. It was roller hockey. I mean, anything we could do that was sports related. And we were super competitive with each other, but also really supportive. And my parents are, you know, pretty hardworking, blue collar people, and all they really expected from us was work ethic. It was never about results, and they never got really involved in the politics and the rat race and, you know, everything that goes on in minor hockey. It was kind of just, you know, work hard, and, you know, we're going to put our time in, and, you know, it's a lot of money, but we're willing to do it if you guys put the effort in, and we did. And it worked out. And I don't think anyone could have ever expected, you know, the way it turned out. But I think slowly, one after another, we started, you know, just creating a path for one another. And we seemed to just follow in each other's footsteps, and you know, worked out pretty good. So, you know, we're still really close today, probably closer than ever. And, you know, we get to help each other out through the ups and downs of this life. And, you know, it's great to have those guys to, you know, support me, and I can help them out. And, yeah, it's an amazing story. I don't think many people get to experience it. And it's hard to put into words because it feels like it went by so damn quick too.
Let's be honest here, though. It's easy for your mom and dad to be like, "Yeah, we're gonna help you when you're scoring 8 goals a game." Oh my god! I mean, come on,
the Toronto Marlboros.
Let's be honest. Yeah, of course they're taking goals. You.
Hey, listen, there's no politics when like every AAA program in town is like begging you to come play for them.
I know. Now Andy's mom's a different story, trying to travel with him, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You know what? You're not necessarily wrong though in that standpoint. It's easy to be the good parent or like the good civilian when things are going well. But you know, it was crazy. My last year before I went to junior hockey, I was playing minor midget AAA, which is like right before you get drafted to the OHL or whatever. And my youngest brother was a minor Adam, and so there's 3 of us playing AAA hockey, and it was just like it was nonstop, like 24/7. I honestly, I think my parents like have like a few friends from the street, but everyone else is like who they met through hockey. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of the life we lived, and we honestly we didn't know anything else. And now raising 2 girls, it's a little bit different than what my parents went through, I think.
So look, you dominated juniors, 4th overall. I mean, you were
5th overall.
5th overall, whatever. I doesn't matter, Andy. Here's the point, though. Like, when did you know you were like separated from everybody else, and you got to step on everybody, and you're toe dragging guys, and they can't keep up with you? What age was that?
I mean, I was always probably one of the better players on my team growing up. I think, you know, from a young age, I was, you know, one of the good players, and I kind of always stayed that way. But, you know, there's a little bit of an awkward stage for kids, you know, like when you get the puberty stage, and, you know, some kids get bigger, and then they, you know, everyone's like, this guy's the next Gretzky, you know how it goes. And then, so, I mean, I always was a good player.
Wait, no, I don't.
Cam has no idea how that goes,
Neither
by the way.
Andy, just so you know.
Well, you know, and then there's always an awkward stage, though, where, you know, guys get better, and then you hear a lot about these guys. But I feel like I always knew how to think the game and what I was supposed to do out there. And then my first year of junior was a tough year, and I was pretty young. I was pretty small, and I was pretty immature. And then after my first year in junior, I really put my head down and went to work and realized what I go into my draft year, what I'm gonna have to do. And then that year I kind of took off, and ever since then, I think just knowing the work I put in and seeing it all pay off in my draft year, and, you know, being selected high, I think was just all the confidence I needed. And then, you know, there's been a few ups and downs along the way, but you know, here we are.
Okay, so AAA hockey in Toronto. Because we know the landscape here in St. Louis, like what the parents are paying. But I will say, like, in terms of affordability, and it's still expensive as shit here in St. Louis. It's probably among the cheapest in North America in terms of the fees. They try to keep the fees down. What do you think your parents were paying, like, per kid to play AAA hockey, like you're growing up in Toronto there?
I mean, I've never asked them for a dollar figure because it scares the hell out of me. But I would say probably like between $5,000 to $10,000 a kid at least. I would say, you factor in tournaments, and you factor in, you know, your registration.
It's more than that, man. So I bet you it's more than that. The only difference, though, in Toronto is that you guys don't have to travel as much because all the programs are there.
You're not going to Detroit,
but
St. Louis
here in St. Louis, man, you play in the league, and like you're constantly on the road almost every weekend.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's 12 teams just in like the AAA loop and just the GTHL, like just the league I was in, not to mention 3 other leagues within an hour away or whatever. So, and you know what too, like I credit my parents so much because, they sacrificed and all that. But it was more than that too. I mean, my grandparents lived around the corner. My grandma lived at our house, and like my grandpa, I don't think missed a hockey game until I finished junior hockey. So
I love that, man.
That's the best.
It's so, it honestly, and my uncles and my aunts, and, my uncle would sponsor my jersey. Like it was just everything. And, when I see those people and they're so proud of me, I'm like, honestly, like I wouldn't be here without you. And, it honestly, to get one boy to the NHL is impressive, but for, a whole family and a whole support system to kind of get 3 kids drafted, it says a lot about more than just the parents. So it's about everyone that was involved. And I know that's a little bit corny and cliche, but it's really true.
Can we talk to your mom and dad? I want to talk to them. I want to figure out.
They don't want to talk to you, Andy.
I mean, it's amazing.
You would love to talk to my dad. You'd probably need a few beers to loosen him up on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure he'd be great after that.
Hey, how old were you? Like, because you're a big star, you mentioned the GTHL and everything. How old were you, like, the first time they ever did, like, a feature story on you? Like, on television, a newspaper write-up? Like, when was that first one?
Probably, 13, 14, I would say, started to kind of get a little bit of attention. And honestly, it was more so because our team was so good. We had a really good team. We kind of ran through everyone. We kind of stayed together, a majority of us from, all the way through minor hockey, which in Toronto is super rare, especially these days. And that's kind of the way it was. But my coach was really good too. My coach's name was Ken Strong. He played in the NHL a little bit, a handful of games, and he never put me above the team. He always made me kind of earn my stripes. And unless it was like a big tournament or a big game, he kind of shortened the bench. But he always rolled the lines and never made me more special than anyone. And I think, at times I was kind of like, why the hell am I not on the ice more? But I think at the end that kind of made me, more of a team player and a better person because of it. And that's kind of the way that our team was. It was kind of no one was above the team. And, at the time I was kind of pissed off with the ice time, but I think it paid off for me.
So who else was on your team with you? And who were some of the big dogs that you grew up playing against, who you got to know real well, who we'd be familiar with?
So on my team was Brett Ritchie, Evan Rodriguez, Malcolm Subban, Stuart Percy was a first-round pick. He played for the Leafs a little bit. Dougie Hamilton played with me for a while. So there was a good handful of guys. Zach Mitchell played for Minnesota a little bit. So there was a handful of guys that kind of played there was I think 7 guys from my minor hockey team that at least had a cup of coffee. And, and it's funny because you see some of the guys that fizzle out and you realize how lucky you are to be one of the guys that, make it past 100 games, 200 games. And, you keep checking off those milestones and you see the other guys kind of fall off. It never gets any easier. And it definitely puts things into perspective though.
Hey, who reached out to you from Anaheim? I know you know Shaddy. We know Shaddy pretty well, obviously. Yeah. And who were some of the guys from Anaheim that really recruited you?
Honestly, it was amazing. As soon as I signed, I had a handful of texts from Cam Fowler, Adam Henrique, John Gibson, a few of the younger guys. I think my agent represents a few of the same guys, so they reached out. And Derek Grant and the coach. It was really nice to feel that support because I really don't have too much of an issue going into a new dressing room. I feel like I got a personality that kind of just, figures my way. But it's certainly nice to feel comfortable and have guys reach out. I mean, I know every team I've been on, the guys that do reach out, I think that first few days, it just makes you feel just a little bit more at ease. And it says a lot about the team they have already that so many guys did reach out.
Is McDavid? I mean, listen, it's an easy answer that he's the best player you ever played with. But you played on a line with Panarin this year, and I'm not trying to say Panarin's as good as McDavid, but he's not far off, man. He's that good in terms of what he does well. Just playing with him in general, I need to know about Panarin, what kind of guy he is, and how well you guys got along, and just kind of what he's all about. What makes him go?
Yeah, he's probably one of my best friends on the team. We, at first, you see a language barrier and all that, but when you get kind of beyond that, he's one of the best dudes I've ever played with. He's so down to earth. He's so humble. He comes from an extremely impressive story, just how he grew up and how modest his living was, and to where he's got to. He was undrafted and all that stuff. And he's an amazing person. He's one of my best friends, and not to mention on the on ice stuff. He's just so talented. I think the thing that makes him great is that he knows what he's good at and what he's not good at, and he works on what he knows he needs to work on. He works on his passing, his cardio, his shooting. He doesn't try to be someone he's not. He stays true to himself, and And he's got like an unbelievable work ethic. He's very driven, and it was super impressive for me to see that up close every day, and to get to play with him for, the majority of the last 3 seasons has been such a blessing, and I'm such a better player and person because of it. And if you guys honestly got to sit down with him, he's in a podcast setting or whatever, when you don't really know him, you wouldn't understand. But if you got to know him for a little bit and you really understood what he's all about, he's a top-notch guy. They don't really make him like that anymore, I don't think.
No, I get you, man. And, until he chops your head off with a high kick after a goal, you gotta duck those.
As long as I got the cookie on the goal, he can do whatever he wants.
You chop your head, he can decapitate you. Hey, how's his lifestyle? Like I know he came from probably nothing over in Russia there, but he's in New York, and there's a lot of things going on in New York. There's a lot of big dogs cruising around. So when you're hanging out with Panarin, A, where did he live and what kind of setup does he have? Because I know they like to spend that coin, especially in New York. And B, like, if you walk around and go into places, do people like recognize you?
Yeah, for sure. New York was like, as the team got better the last, 2 seasons, it was definitely more recognizable. But, we actually lived in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is beautiful nice little suburb. But the downtown Greenwich, there was tons of Rangers fans like everywhere. So we would be, for sure get noticed. And he's definitely a prototypical Russian. He's got some nice stuff and some clothes that probably cost more than my wardrobe. But he actually, like 2 years ago, we were talking about it, and he actually pulled trigger on. He actually he downgraded to a flip phone, so he's got no phone. He's like the thing barely works in like half the cities we're in. It's just classic, and he tries to just keep a simple lifestyle and just get rid of the distractions and just kind of be in the moment and be around his teammates. And that's the best part about him. I think when you go to dinner with him and like guys are on their phone, he gets pissed off and he makes you kind of put your phone away.
I like that.
Guys have great conversations with him, and that's kind of what drew me to him too. Like, we have had driving to the rink, we've had no radio on. It's an hour drive and just kind of talking about life and this and that. And those are the best conversations. And those are the things that you really remember when it's all said and done.
Hey, how crazy was that whole Russian thing that went down with him? Like when he had to go back and his family, because people can't relate to what these guys are dealing with back home. Like, it's so different. Like, what can you share about like what he was going through?
Are you guys worried?
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially as a friend, it's you want everyone to be comfortable. And I think when there's so much unknown going on in the world, and I think for me, like, you hear a lot of stuff and people ask you questions, but when you're around him, I think you just feel more at ease because, sometimes he tells you what's actually going on. I think a lot of times, like, everything's lost in translation through the media and through, it's halfway around the world. So it's so different over here. And, sometimes I'd go up to him like, hey, is this like happening? No, it's all bullshit. It's all Russian bullshit. It's not true. Like, so like, he kind of like, sometimes it's, as scary as some of those things were, I think, being around him and like hearing the stories directly from him and actually what's going on in his perspective, I think, was a little more at ease than what people think on the outside. But yeah, it's definitely, there's some serious worldwide things going on. You've seen it this year with, some of the NHL prospects and what they're going through, and the Kaprizov stuff, and that stuff's real. So it's good to get those guys' perspective though, because they live it and they've got family there, and it's scary for sure.
Yeah, they have nothing to do with Putin. People think that they're all connected, but it's certainly not the case. You guys lived in Greenwich though, an hour away. Very wealthy over there.
Did you buy a house there?
Yeah, why there? Is it just too expensive in Manhattan? Because that's expensive too.
Yeah, no, I lived in the city for like my first 2 and a bit years, I think, when I was at the Rangers. And then the COVID, all that stuff happened. And we moved out of our condo, and then we were kind of we didn't know what to do. And we were like, do we go back to the city? What do we do? And then we had a kid. So then we're like, okay, well, let's just get out to the suburbs. And honestly, like, I couldn't have loved Greenwich more. It's like such a beautiful place to live. It's unbelievable. It's like there's so many young families that are used to live in the city, and then they kind of are all in the same boat, and they move out to Connecticut, and it was great, and just a little bit easier for my wife to have a backyard and drive to get groceries versus walking through the city and all that stuff. That stuff's great, but then throwing kids in the mix definitely puts everything for a loop when you're living in Manhattan.
No, that's smart, man. So what would you do on game day? Like, you come in for the morning skate and then you'd just stay in the city, or would you drive home and then come back again?
No, we actually we would morning skate in the practice rink, which was like 15 minutes from where I live. So
perfect.
Nice.
all the guys with families kind of lived out there, and then actually this year we had like barely, they were basically all optional, so you didn't have to come to the rink. So most of the guys wouldn't even come, and then we would just go down and grab lunch. Some of the boys in the city, and we had a couple of good spots. We'd change it up, and then we'd actually sleep in the city right beside MSG, and then go to the game, and after the game hop in the cars and just head back home. So it was there's a little bit of hurdles, but honestly it wasn't too bad. It just kind of becomes the normal, and you just kind of get used to it, and you get a couple podcasts going, or you get something lined up for the car, and or a good conversation with the bread man, and away you go.
Oh yeah, you're not allowed to listen to radio with him though, so you can't put
Yeah,
our
no
podcast
radio.
on.
Yeah.
We'll entertain you, just so you know. Hey, do you hang out with any big dogs, celebrities? We've had Ron Duguay, Messier on. I mean, all the big boys. But like, did you guys ever hang out with anybody? And if so, who?
No, honestly, not at all. We're lucky enough that some of the celebrity row behind our bench was pretty impressive. Some of the people, and if you wanted to meet them, you just text them and the PR guy, and they'd bring you down. There was a few actors that a couple of shows that guys liked and stuff. They would try to meet them and stuff, but honestly, not really. I think everyone kind of left that up to Lundqvist, and he kind of ran the city, and everyone else just was like a couple miles behind him on the scale. So that was it.
Yeah, you got to be the big dog.
Oh yeah,
hang out with the big dogs.
Exactly.
Would Lundqvist does he take you guys out? Like, is he hanging out with you guys, or is he just hanging out with Aaron Boros the whole time? Like what's going on there with Lundqvist in terms of his interaction with the younger guys, man? I mean, does he show you guys, kind of like a peek into his reality?
When he was still playing, he was great. We would do a Super Bowl party at his house in Soho. It was an unbelievable apartment this guy's got. Is just incredible. And then he took us out a few times, and you'd see him out. But honestly, he was just in a different stage in his career, I think. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of had so much turnover on the roster, and he'd been there for so long. I think, he was great with me. I just think, it was such a weird time because he was, he wanted to win so bad, and he thought he had one more year, and then he had the heart issue, and then, everything kind of at the same time. But, getting to see him again this year at the rink for the MSG, he was working for MSG, which is really cool. And saw him a bunch of times and got to be a part of his, retirement ceremony and stuff. And that's really cool. He's a great guy. And, he took the time to respond to my text message when I texted him about the retirement and all that stuff. And his wife is fantastic. So I've had great interactions with them. And, when you get to play with a guy like that, I mean, 10, 20 years down the road, you're going to remember that and be, it's a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, his wife is probably fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It probably is. Hey, listen, we just had Tony Deangelo on, and listen, we enjoyed talking to him, man. I found him very interesting, well-spoken, certainly confident. Like, how awkward was that for the rest of the group when his situation went down? Because it sounds like he got along really well with the teammates, especially you. Like, did you guys try to go to management and be like, hey, listen, we like this guy, we want him on the team? Did you stay out of it? Like, how'd that whole situation go down?
Yeah, it was weird. It was, I just think the team was in a really, just a weird spot, I think. When they're trying to ice a lineup that's not necessarily the most competitive, and you've got some competitive guys, and there's a lot of young guys, and it's definitely just a weird dynamic. And I get along with him great. He's still one of my best friends, and I was talking to him last night a little bit. He's one of my favorite guys just to talk hockey with, and we got along great. There wasn't, obviously he's got a fiery emotion, and he's got some passion, and he's got a big personality. But I think those are positive things. I think if more guys kind of had that fire and the will to win, I think they'd be better players. But I think he learned his lesson about how to maybe ride that line a little bit tighter. And I think he got what am I trying to say? I think he got portrayed in a little bit of a bad light. I don't think it was, I don't think he was totally at fault for what happened. I don't think he deserved to kind of miss a whole year of hockey, but I mean, it is what it is. And he bounced back with an unbelievable year. And, I think he learned his lessons, and, he signed a great 2-year deal with his hometown team, and he was fantastic last year. So, I think it all worked out for him. And, we're still close today. And, some of my funniest moments of playing in the NHL were, sitting on the plane or at dinners with that guy. We had some really good times.
He comes from a different, listen,
South Jersey.
You know this, man. A lot of hockey
Philly
players, they kind of have a similar background, similar upbringing. similar social class. I mean, just to play the game, we already talked about how expensive it is and whatever. I mean, there's not too many guys who come from Italian neighborhoods from South Philly, man. Sometimes you just have to learn to understand people. Do you feel like he's misunderstood a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think you won't find many like guys he's played with or whatever, the guys that know him that say anything bad about him. So unfortunately, like some of the stuff that was in the media was just pretty false. And but it kind of says a lot about him too, the way he handled it. I don't think he kind of just took his shots and rode the wave and kind of accepted what happened. I think learned from it and move on. And I think, like I said, he probably learned a ton from his time in New York. I think I'm sure there's some things he do differently, but at the same time, I think all he wanted to do was play as hard as he could for the Rangers. And I think he always envisioned himself being a Ranger. And then when things kind of changed, I mean, it's just the way it goes in this business. And for better or for worse. And he's a hometown team in Philly, so that should be some pretty entertaining games for the Flyers this season for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I need to know about Chris Kreider, man. This guy explodes, 50-plus goals. Like the video of he and Zibanejad, like throwing the iPad. First off, when that happened, how much did you guys chuckle about that behind the scenes after that came out?
Yeah, I actually had no idea about it until someone told me at the hotel room after the game. I think we're in Pittsburgh, and someone told me back at the hotel because I didn't have any like Twitter or anything like that, and I was like, oh, what happened? I saw it. I just kind of chuckled. But, those two have such a good relationship that I think they're able to, talk to each other in a pretty honest light. And, I think they're able to, feed off each other in a good way. And I think that was just a situation of Kreids knowing Mika and knowing how to step in and keep his mind sharp and focus on the task at hand. But no, he's the best. Me and him got really close. We used to drive to the rink every day together. And, my first few years in New York, and just to see him have the year he had this year I was really happy for him, because I know how proud of a guy he is. I know how hard he works. I know how much he puts into the game, and it's 24/7 with him. And just see him have that success was nice to see, because he's a great leader. He's a great leader by example. And I think all the hard work he puts in constantly year after year, finally paid off for him. And he was unbelievable. I feel like everything he touched was going in, and he earned it. He works hard. He brings it every day, and he's the definition of a leader, and he's a great role model.
Yeah, I love watching that guy play.
Man,
he's an American kid too. Hey, before we move on, I'm not going to ask you all the questions about the Rangers, but just Gerard Gallant, man, we love him, man. We had him on.
Yeah.
Did he truly have as much impact on the team as it appeared, from the outside?
Yeah, for sure. I think he came in and he's got a calming presence, but he also just instills a lot of confidence in you. I think he was able just to kind of keep the message always very simple, never overcomplicate anything, but he always made you feel like you could win every game before the game with his little speech somehow. I don't know how he did it. It was usually the most cliche stuff you can think of, but he was able to kind of, if you weren't feeling good, you're kind of sitting there getting ready to go. You leave the speech like, all right, we could beat these guys. Let's go get it. And he had a great demeanor, and he was fiery during the games, but he let things roll off his shoulder pretty quickly. He didn't let things, bleed into the next day and let one bad game turn into 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think that really helped our group, because, seeing your coach kind of, after a 5-1 loss, not come in and snap in the next day and overreacting, and just knowing you got to get back to work and get back on the saddle and get ready to go, I think was kind of what our team needed, and it turned out really good for us last season.
Yeah, I like him, man.
Great teeth, by the way. I talked to him at the draft. I'm like, oh my God, where do you get these things, man?
You got good teeth. And he likes to throw compliments out so somebody else gives him a compliment. Hey, you know what? You know how we get so many guys on, man, and I'm just looking up some of your highlights, and you had some sick ass Tillies, dude. That Mason Marchman fight, you guys were throwing fucking bombs on each other. I like that kid, by the way. His daddy just died, who was unbelievably tough. But man, I like how you fucking throw from downtown, man. Good for you.
Yeah, I got in a few fights in junior, and I'm definitely not the biggest guy or the toughest guy, but I think when I see red, I get a little pissed off.
Yeah.
And, I've got a handful of NHL fights, and I'd say maybe like close to 10. And in that one, he actually hit me earlier in the game, and I was pissed off about it. And it was the last game before All-Star break. So I said, you know what, if I fucking hurt my hand here or something, at least I get a few days off. So, so I went out there and the boys loved it. And I think Turk loved it. And, you know, I think every once in a while, I'm the type of guy that every once in a while, I think you need to do that. And, you know, I think, like I said, you get a ton of respect from your teammates that way.
Well, yeah, and you get a ton of respect from everybody else too. Like they're like, if they hit you, like this guy's going to throw bombs on me. Like I'm going to have to get in one with you. That goes a long way, man.
I still think that guys that play with me know that I don't think I'm really ever going to hurt anybody, but
never know.
I'll show up and, you know, I like to stand in there and, you know, every once in a while it's good to mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your brother Dylan all about, man? Like I liked him in Chicago. Like he put up some points. I mean, it's just so weird that they didn't qualify him. He becomes a free agent, ends up signing just a 1-year deal for decent money, and he's in a good situation playing in Washington with that whole crew. But like, I mean, was that weird for the family to kind of like, you know, just kind of digest and understand what was going on with his situation in Chicago?
Yeah, it was really weird. Like he had a really tough first half of the year. He wasn't playing a ton. He was playing wing, fourth line, scratch, this, that. And then when the coaching change happened, they kind of just like gave him an opportunity and said, all right, let's see what we can do with it. And his numbers in the second half were like unbelievable. And he played big minutes, played with the top guys and against top guys and did well. And it was certainly a surprise not to see him get qualified. But honestly, like the way, I mean, you can never predict how it turns out, but I think that it couldn't have turned out any better. I think to get to a team that has won before and has veteran guys and is looking to always be in the playoffs and, you know, as a contender, and you can learn from some of those big boys, and maybe Backstrom's out for most of the year. I think it's a really good situation for him to go in there and have some more GMC. He's always played in the West, so be in the East now. And you know, I just think to play with on a good team, it's tough not making the playoffs. And he's a good player. He's got some flaws like we all do, but he's always had the ability to put up points and to score and to get the job done. So I hope he gets the opportunity that he deserves. And I think he's the type of kid that can handle a 1-year deal and go out there and show everybody. And I think it worked out, you know, for the better.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a win for Washington, man, to get a player like that at that number. You know, the flaws you talk about, I mean, some people try to chirp his skating a little bit, but, you know, you watch him, like, there's times you see him, he gets going, like, through the neutral zone a little bit. Like, he can skate and get around the ice, and he'll be a good fit there, you know, with Oshie and some of those big boys, like you mentioned, Ovechkin and whatnot. Yeah. So what was it like on free agency day? I assume you guys have the same agent. Like, are you guys hanging out together? Are you guys monitoring each other's situation? I mean, how hard was it to focus on his situation when your agent's also dealing with him at the same time?
Yeah, we have the same agent, but I also think it's a good thing. I think, you know, when an agent has multiple guys, they're talking to more teams and whatever. So you're always kind of, you know, throwing each other's names out there. But it was a stressful day. You know, everyone's got different experiences, and I went to bed the night before thinking it was locked up and I had something on the table. And then the next morning it seems like that was gone. And then, you know, then there you go. And then you're waiting the full day, and then you're waiting for a call. And I honestly couldn't be around anybody. Even it was actually, I felt terrible. It was my wife's birthday that day. And I was like just walking around my house, cleaning like anything I could find and going for walks and for drives just to try to keep my mind from going crazy. But, you know, it's just, it was a big moment for our family, I think. You know, for him to have a new fresh start and to be in a good situation, and for me to, you know, finally get a 5-year deal and to have some security and, you know, to be able to take care of like my family. And, you know, it was a big day, and, you know, not so much for where we're going to end up, because I know there's so many great cities and, you know, we would be able to make it work, but just that it felt like everything in your life almost leads up to that moment. And then when that day comes and there's extra stress and this and that. So it was a unique experience, but I think, like I said, I'm really glad I got to go through it, because whether I get to do it again as a player or maybe one day down the road and on the other side of things, that at least I know what it's like, and I can relate to everyone's situation and know that what I went through.
Andy, he's a good guy, and I'll explain why. He's about to sign for 5 years, 25 schmil, and he's cleaning the house for his wife, and he feels sorry for her at the same time. You're a good dude.
I know.
I'd be at the bar with the boys.
If you've seen what I was doing around the house that day, just I think I wore out my feet on the concrete in the garage and just doing anything I could find. So just to keep my mind off things, stay off Twitter.
Yeah, hey, listen, I talked to another prominent like free agent that night, and he was telling me how miserable it was. Like, it was not enjoyable whatsoever. He hated it. like, it's not fun. Like, I mean, people look at it like, wow, it's got to be amazing. All these different teams calling, throwing millions of dollars at you. But like, you're making it sound like it's not maybe what it's all cracked up to be.
Listen, it turned out great, and I couldn't have really, I couldn't be happier. But it's stressful. Like, it's amazing when there's the interest, and the week leading up, you're like, oh, maybe this is an option. You're looking at everything, but teams know the pressure points too. They know players get a little anxious, they get a little stressed, and there's times where you just want to like pick up the phone and be like, forget it, like take the first deal you get, like just you know what I mean. But teams know that too. So the GMs and the agents, that's their jobs, and they play the game with each other, and they try to get the pressure points. And my mindset was kind of to stay out of it as much as possible till I just got a phone call and heard about it. But then you're sitting there waiting and wondering, you're like, is my agent calling people, like what's going on? And then it's everyone's got a different experience, and it's definitely, I would say, way more stressful than I ever imagined. But like I said, my feet were killing me that night. I just said my steps, if I had an Apple Watch on, my steps would have been like top 10 all time, I think. So
yeah, but you knew you were going to get coined though. It sucks if you don't know if you're going to get a contract or a one-way deal. Right. Then you're stressing like, I'm going to have to move out of this fucking house. You knew you were going to get some money. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I kept saying to myself and with my dad and stuff, because as stressed as I can be, I'm not going to post it in our family chat. My brother's trying to get a 1-year deal somewhere, because that just makes me look like I'm not, like I don't care about the situation, which is totally not true. Like for me, like the night I signed, I was super happy, but I almost I didn't even promote it to like my extended family, because I wanted my brother to sign too, and my other brother's still waiting for a contract, so he's waiting for something. So I think once he officially signs and all three of us are checked off, we can officially have a nice bottle of champagne and enjoy it. But it's a family thing. You want the best for your brothers, and as much as it's nice to have a 5-year deal, you want to take care of your family and just make sure everyone's everyone's happy, right? Yeah.
You can't be like fucking mopey poo, and then all of a sudden your cousin's like asphalt sealing down the road in 100-degree weather. So it's
100%.
It's like they're like
1,000%. Everything's in perspective, 100%. And that's what you have to keep telling yourself on that day when you're like, oh, this team's a shit offer. It's like, oh, you know what, this offer is more than a lot of people make in a lifetime. So
oh yeah, way more. But yeah, dude. So hey, you got the kind. I know you got that expensive house. You're going to have another expensive house down in Southern Cali, which is going to be taxed out the wazoo, but it's beautiful, and you're going to love the ocean. But what other toys do you got, man? Like, what do you like to do? I'm sure you like to golf, but you got boats. Like, what do you like to do, man?
Well, one day I definitely want to be on the lake. Right now, just to have another property would be totally insane. I couldn't do it, but yeah, I love being on the water. And right now is a lot of golf. Like I could play 36 holes every single day if I didn't have kids. And I didn't get a little bit of pressure to get home as soon as the round ended. But
you walk in from 36 holes, and the wife's like, "The fuck you doing?"
Yeah, seriously. Then you're in the grinder the next day. You're locked in for 12-hour shift. But I love golfing, man. Honestly, that's my thing to do. And me and my brothers and my dad are all members at the same course, and we get to go out and play all the time. And that's honestly like my escape from everything. I love the mental challenge and just being outdoors and all that. So that's the one thing I splurge on is the golf. And obviously there's a few little gifts here and there, but we're pretty simple people. And when things are done, I'll get the boat and the toys and get on the lake and do all that. But right now it's just business. Take care of business, and and it's hard too. I mean, as you get older, it's only gets harder and harder to keep your game in tip top shape. And I mean, these young guys are just like ridiculously good, and you got to work harder and harder each summer just to stay around and squeeze every year you can get out of this league.
Hey, listen, I'm a golfer too, man. So
we are so bad.
It's terrible.
And
I don't know. I just can't figure it out.
I can't figure it. And so when you hear 36 holes, after 3 holes, Andy and I want to kill each other.
I'm like ready to get off the course after I like the perfect golf would be like 9 to 11 holes.
Well, you're not very good.
I mean, 18 to 36 is like almost too much. I don't know how you guys do it, so it's pretty amazing.
But you got to wait till, sorry, Andy, but you got to wait to get that lake. Don't complicate things when you're playing, man. Like if you're juggling 3 different houses, you got fucking kids, and your boat. If you get a boat, you got to deal with. You got to be at the cottage every goddamn weekend and seeing what shit's going on. It's too much. Wait till you're retired.
Yeah,
in 15
I agree.
years.
Hey,
and you guys just got to bring the podcast out to the golf course. That'll kill two birds with one stone, and maybe you guys can work on your game a little more.
They ain't letting us take the podcast to a golf course, just so you know, brother.
Hey,
we're not classy enough.
Hey, what did your parents do? Like, I mean, 3 kids playing AAA hockey. I actually knew a family that had 3 kids playing at the same time. I don't know how they did it. So it's like the travel and everything is difficult enough just in terms of getting, you know, everybody where they need to be. But like, what were they doing? Like, because I'm sure your dad's working every day too, right?
Yeah, my dad was an electrician. He still works. I think he's just starting to slow down a little bit, and he's home a little more now, which is nice. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom until we all went back to play. Maybe like my last year before I went to junior, she had to go back to work just 'cause it was getting too expensive. So she's worked in insurance for since then, so probably like maybe 10, 15 years. And I'm trying to get them to retire now and slow down because we need babysitters for the grandkids, but they're the best. Honestly, they're such humble, blue collar. What you see is what you get, people, and you know, they instilled all those great traits in us.
Hey, listen, we had that kid Trevor Zegras on, by the way, and he's. I mean, first
like
off,
him.
when you're playing. And, like, you're watching some of the stuff that he's doing and whatever, he's pulling off the Michigan and all this stuff. Like, if you're on the ice, like, does that bother you if somebody on the other team does that? Are you looking to take his head off?
If they're up by 5?
Or are you like, being like, wow, that's pretty sick? Like, how do you react to these type of plays these young kids are doing?
It's never really happened with me on the ice or, like, anything like that. But I think it's a pretty good display of skill. I mean, I think, if more guys can do it, I'm sure they would. So, I think it's a fine line between, being confident and cocky, but at the same time, like, at times, even for me in this league, when I didn't have my confidence, it's like you can't do anything. So I always say this with young guys, I'd rather a kid that's overconfident than underconfident. So, I think confidence is one of the hardest things to be consistent at. And the fact that these guys are able to come in and do what they do, and you're seeing guys being younger and younger, being, better and better, more impact players. And it's impressive to see. And it says a lot about, the development of these kids and how good they are. So, I mean, I'm all for it. And the thing that goes unnoticed is, like, everyone's been asking me about Zegras, obviously, because we signed with Anaheim, but like he had unbelievable numbers this year for a young player. Like, it's not like he's a highlight reel, like, just for, these hot dog goals. Like, the guy can play, and he knows what he's doing out there. And I think that's one of the things that his game will probably pop more and more, just people realize how good he actually is.
Yeah, he's a good dude too, by the way. He was cool. We evaluate everybody, we have all these guys on, we got Hall of Famers on, and everybody's for the most part pretty cool, but you could always tell who the really down to earth guys are, and you're certainly in that category. But yeah,
well, you have to say that now, but I appreciate it.
No, I don't have to say a damn thing.
You're a good dude, man.
We don't have to say a damn thing. No, we're dead serious.
Did I hear you say you want to go into management? Is that what you're saying? Like, after your career, you want to stay in hockey or what?
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? I mean, it's hard to have a crystal ball. I feel like things change all the time, but yeah, I've always wanted to be a GM. Honestly, I don't know if I'd ever, want to be in the big chair, but at least, in the conversations, I think, building a team and making trades and signing guys and, putting your input in on those meetings would be pretty cool one day. So that's kind of something that I'm looking towards, and always trying to, learn any way I can and talk to, people that have done it or that are doing it, past players, and just get their perspective. But yeah, that's something I'd like to do. I mean, I'd like to think that I could, walk away from hockey one day, but really it's all I really know, and it's what I'm good at. So, I mean, it'd be hard to pick up something at, hopefully 35, 40 and start new, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's definitely a goal of mine, and something I want to get into.
Well, you can get into podcasting with us.
You could do that. The way you talk, man.
It's better than being a GM.
Just let you go. And I mean,
we need to class up a little bit.
If right now, if society was a little bit different, the podcast would be great. But it seems like every pro hockey or pro athlete, I guess it should say, that starts a podcast seems to get just crucified. So,
oh my God,
probably not.
Ask Tony about that.
No shit.
Yeah,
well, don't do it when
Tony,
you're playing.
Yeah, Draymond Green, even, like, the guy was in the finals and he was doing his podcast and people were all over him. So
yeah, that's a basketball
maybe
player.
Maybe
that'll
change, but I feel like too. I mean, you guys have been around hockey a long time. It's hard to really, say what you think while you're playing, or truly be yourself and come out, because I mean, it's just hockey players are built a certain way, and that's such a great thing. But you got to be careful what you say and keep things to yourself a lot of times. So.
Yeah, well, we've waved bye to that a long time ago.
Oh my God,
retired.
Ryan.
Well, that's perfect, and that's what. But you know what? That's what I think the game needs too. Like, I think guys like you and and some of the other great hockey podcasts is so good for hockey fans to get an insight into, some of the guys, and you can open up personalities. I think that's been a huge part of growing the game in the last, handful of years.
Hey, Rick Nash said the same thing, man. He was like,
Nasher, yeah.
he did. He was like, listen, I love the fact that people, there's, people telling stories and being open and stuff like that.
Get it out
These
there.
NBA players, by the way, man,
my God, yeah.
they're signing like 2-year deals for $130 million.
They run the show.
I saw yesterday James Harden took a discount. He took like 2 years,
68
million. I go, holy shit.
Is he the flat earther? No, that's Kyrie, isn't it?
That's Kyrie.
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 Yeah.
It's crazy. Hey, listen, man, like you're such a good guy, and you came into the NHL, high expectations, 5th overall pick, like we said. Cam said 4th overall.
My bad.
Yeah, and your brother's 3rd overall, so you guys are doing something right over there. And obviously, your other brother, man, we're going to get him a deal after this podcast, by the way. His phone will be ringing.
Yep.
What's his name again? Matthew, is that right?
Matt, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's the deal? Like he was a draft pick for Philly, correct?
Yeah, draft pick for Philly. I think just kind of. He actually had a really good year. When I watched the games, he transitioned to center this year and spent most of the year in the American League, and never really got an opportunity in like offensive situations. But he just always had to work on his skating, and he was such a big case, like 6'4", and he's just kind of had to get used to his body and stuff. And he's been doing that, and they didn't qualify him, but I think give him a chance, and just needs a situation. I mean, you've seen so many kids the last few years on AHL deals, Mason Marchman and Hayden Hodgson, a bunch of these guys just. Continue to get better and develop and keep doing the right things. And it doesn't really matter which contract you're on. If you're good enough, they'll find you and they'll give you a chance. And that's what he's doing, and just kind of continue to work. And we push him every day. So hopefully he gets there.
Yeah. They always told me that they'll find you,
Well, they didn't find you, Andy. Good Lord.
Hey, okay. Help me understand, because again, great. I love the way you speak and everything, but you're also a really good player. You came in with a lot of expectations, but why did it take you a little bit of time to kind of, find your spot in the NHL? You bounced around a little bit, man. Like you're in the Islanders, then you go to Edmonton, and it seems like you finally found a home with the New York Rangers. Like break that down for us.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I came in and had, I went to the minors and did really well. I think Janny lined me up a couple times pretty good down in Albany. He's cruising around cruising around headhunting a little bit.
Sorry, I'm seriously sorry about that. I was in a weird spot, man. My head.
Hey, and as a 20-year-old in the trolley tracks in Albany, New York, it's I was wondering what was going on
in front of 200 people. Oh God. Man. Sorry,
classic.
homeboy.
But no, I just think like I had some success early, and I. It's not like junior hockey where you kind of get older and the guys just get younger. I mean, the NHL is hard every single year. And I think, I think I maybe thought it was a bit easy at times. And, I don't think I stopped working because I've always had a good work ethic, but I think maybe I thought it was going to be, well, you get 50 points next year, you're going to get 60 or 70. And then when that doesn't happen and, you get passed in the lineup and you get moved down a little bit and whatever, I think, just kind of snowballed a little bit. And, in New York too, I never really got to play center, and that was always my natural position. And I played a lot of time on the wing, and, it wasn't really till New York where I really got an opportunity to play center. It was the first time I got to play as a center iceman in the top 6 in my whole career. It took me almost like 6 or 7 years. And, that's kind of what I was drafted as. So when I finally got a chance, I took the ball and ran with it. And I was playing third line center in Edmonton, so I was able to get that part of my game back. And then when I got to New York, things kind of just fell into place. And, I think I just proved myself. And then Panarin came in and, they gave me a chance with him, and it worked, and just kind of kept getting better. So, there's definitely speed bumps along the way. But, I wouldn't trade any of those speed bumps for anything, being where I am now. I think you learn a ton about yourself through that adversity, and through those down times, you realize how badly you want to get out of them, and how you never want to feel that way again. I think that's important for a player in the NHL because, some guys obviously are going to be Hall of Famers, but a lot of guys, it's never a straight road. And, those experiences are what make you better. And I don't take those times for granted at all.
Okay, but what'd you do, though? Because we're speaking to a lot of, hockey dads and hockey moms and stuff like that. Kids. And maybe the kids, I know, unfortunately, there's a lot of 12-year-old kids.
Cam says you got to be 14 to listen to the
I know.
podcast,
there's 12-year-old. Oh, God. Sorry to everybody. I love all you. But seriously, though. So we're talking to everybody here. Like, so you say you just got to keep working, but like what? Are you going in your garage and stick handling pucks? Are you doing 1,000 shots a day? Are you doing different, burst speed stuff? Are you jumping out? Like, what are you doing differently to take it to the next level?
So I actually, when things kind of got, a little bit stale for me, and I kind of wasn't like projecting the way I was probably supposed to. I actually I changed up everything. I got a new trainer. I started working with different people like on the ice. I actually hired Adam Oates and started working with him probably 4 or 5 years ago. And that was amazing for me. And honestly, I really changed everything. I committed to the treatment. You know, I just put everything I could into it. I said, you know what, if this isn't going to work out, and, you know, I'm never going to make X amount of money and I'm never going to score this amount of goals and this amount of points, you know, at least I can leave everything on the table. And I just try to keep on turning a new stone and see what I could discover about myself. And I also think a little bit of self-awareness too. I think I was able to look myself in the mirror, and I think as soon as I was able to tell myself, you know, I wasn't playing good enough, and I wasn't, you know, a good enough player, and I wasn't doing the right things consistently, and I was able to be honest with myself, that's when things started to change. And I think a little bit of self-reflection is, you know, a hard thing to do, but also an important thing. And, you know, things are always good. I mean, my worst years were I think 35 points and 30, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world, but, you know, I always wanted to be a top 6 player and score 20 goals and, you know, get 50, 60 points. And now that I've been able to do that a little bit more consistently, it feels a little bit better now after bouncing around a little bit and, you know, being a high pick. And, you know, and back to the draft, I think, you know, a lot of times you get that expectation and it weighs on you a little bit. You think, oh, I was drafted 5th ahead of this guy or this guy. And you carry that with you a little bit. And as soon as I was able to kind of just stop worrying about the worst I could be, just start being the best I could be, which is, again, super cliche, but I stopped worrying about, you know, being a bust and this and that, and just trying to, you know, go out there and be the best I could be. And then it kind of worked out for me.
Yeah. Oh, right, for sure, man. And we love talking hockey with Adam Oates, by the way. We could talk hockey with him all day long. But how'd you change your diet? Did you go plant-based? Is that what you did?
God. Don't be nerdy like Andy.
Tell me about your diet.
No plant-based.
Thank you.
I'm not the biggest body in the world, so if I went to plant-based, I'd probably look like a triathlon runner. So who
was plant-based on the Rangers? Probably all Panarin and Zibanejad. They probably were. Who else?
I bet they're not. Honestly, nobody. We had a pretty standard team, meat and potatoes kind of guys. And, we didn't have any of those guys.
Yeah, no, you didn't have any of those guys. Exactly. They're far and few. Andy hangs out with a different kind of circle, and so he emulates what they do. So
whatever. Hey, listen, O'Reilly, Steen, Stastny, all these guys, man.
I saw O'Reilly eating a tomahawk the other day. Get on with yourself.
Hey, I got to ask you, though, before we let you go, playing with McDavid, in a Canadian city, just kind of that whole experience, did you enjoy that? Were you guys wow, I'm glad, we're not him because he's got to deal with so much? Were you impressed with how he dealt with it? Because, and he was a younger player back then when you played with him.
Yeah, I also think I've gotten to play with Tavares and a bunch of other guys, and Panarin now, and I feel like all those guys, I guess it may be a little bit different for Panarin, but McDavid and Tavares and those guys, they've always been kind of destined to be great players and first overall picks, and they've had those expectations coming from Toronto and on their shoulders since they've been 12, 13 years old. So I don't think it's ever easy for those guys. I think it's what they go through on a daily basis, especially like you said in a Canadian city, is certainly hard, but they've been trained for it. They're ready for it. And they're such special athletes and people that, they don't worry about the noise. They're trying to be the best they can be. And, McDavid and Tavares and guys like that I keep mentioning, they've been those guys are shooting for Stanley Cups and the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. They're not worried about what people think or what they say. They know how good they are. And they're on another level. And to be around that is certainly inspiring. And those guys get paid the big bucks because of it.
You think it's too much in Canada? When's the first time you heard about Connor McDavid? These guys are mini celebrities. They treat them like they're in the NHL already when they're 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's playing in the Canadian city is not easy. I think that I'm, if for example, if I was in Toronto now, I think I'd be a little bit more better off because I'm a little older and I've had some of these experiences and I've had some ups and downs and I've had to kind of figure it out and find my way. But it's tough. It can wear on you, and some guys are better with handling it than others. And I think for me and the way I've kind of dealt with some of that, just stay offline and just kind of worry about what's important and focus on your game, worry about your coaches think and what your teammates think. And I think there's a ton of noise and a ton of outside pressure, but if you're able to kind of I guess the best way to do it is just be buy a Panarin flip phone and just not worry about it. But it's easier said than done.
Hey, what are you doing the rest of the day? Don't tell me you're doing another podcast, by the way.
Yeah, really. You're a podcast maniac.
I mean, all of a sudden we have you on, and that we hear that you're on another podcast.
I know.
It's like, okay, when
now we got to wait 6 months to put you out.
When do we release this now? I mean,
I'm done with the podcast for the day. I'm actually, you know what? We used to entertain a ton, and then we rebuilt our house and had kids and had COVID and everything, so we haven't been able to do it as much. So tomorrow night we're actually having a big early 2000s themed party, and so we're having like 50, 60 people over. So trying to get ready for a fun night tomorrow, and everyone's getting their little outfits ready and costumes for that. So got to get the house looking tip top shape and be ready for that.
Early 2000s. Hold on, what does that
that's
entail?
What I was gonna ask
what does that
This
entail?
is the last question, by the way, because his kids are probably like running around. He's babysitting.
And his wife's actually not
I
even
know.
home right now.
Last question. Like, who are you going to be early 2000s?
I actually have like the greasiest like Hollister polo. I'm gonna pop the collar, and I actually might go to the Shoppers Drug Mart here. That's what we call our drugstore, and get some self hair dye. Get my wife to get some frosted tips, and really that's kind of my early 2000s. Some Hollister and Abercrombie, maybe a Live Strong bracelet, and we'll see what happens.
Dye that hair, baby. Actually, don't do it, because I did it back in juniors. You know, when we all did it. And now I'm bald, so and that had something to do with it. Hey, big boy, thanks for coming on. Dude, you're a cool cat, man.
All the best in Anaheim, man. You're gonna have a great year. You're gonna love it there, and we look forward to watching you play there too, man. So.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's been awesome talking to you guys. This has been fantastic. So
the best.
I'd love to come back on anytime.
Is this the best one?
Is this the best?
Is this the best one though you've been on
so far? Let's be honest.
I'm curious.
If you haven't been able to tell, I try to be pretty politically correct in my answers. So
we love you, buddy.
I got to ride that wave out.
Oh, good. We're friends with everybody, man. It's all good. Hey, go do your thing, dude.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Ryan. Take care, man. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
All right, that was Ryan Strome on the Cam Strick Podcast. Cam, what stood out to you?
Man, I don't remember, because we didn't do this thing till like a month ago. I don't remember what he said.
Probably more than a month ago. Well, he said a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
I
remember him being cool.
He's just a good dude, man.
Yeah, he seemed really cool.
Yeah, it kind of sucked that there was another interview being released the same week or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want to like double dip there.
That's happened to us a couple times, and we've done that to other people. It just happens.
Yeah, it happens.
It just happens.
It is what it is.
Sometimes they get podcast happy and like,
But exactly. We asked him that.
I did the other day. I did like 3 podcasts in a row.
Did you? You know what? I got to apologize to people, because people asked to come, and I'm slow returning it. And Cam, you know this, man. I don't have any time, dude.
They want you on their podcast?
Yeah, dude. But like for an hour-long I don't have time at nighttime. I just don't have time. Right now, I don't.
I look at my messages, man, and I can't. I did some Devils ones because I want to talk to the people. You know, I owe it to them, the Devils fans. I love them so much, you know. But
well, you've got lots of time.
That's
you
true.
got all day to do.
Well, and I got, you
got time.
What are they asking you about? If you did a podcast right now, what are they asking you about the Blues and stuff?
Maybe, I don't know.
Like, what would they ask you? I'm just curious.
I haven't done it.
I think I'd be like, hey, when you.
I know you're trying. You're
trying.
No, you're trying to like.
No, because you chirp me. I'm just curious.
You're trying to like chirp.
No.
I'm not. I'm like deflecting it. Like I don't know what you're asking. I don't know, dude.
But what do you think they'd ask you?
I don't know.
It's always it's about current stuff. Yes. Or are they gonna be like, hey, I heard that you went on a vacation in South Carolina to play putt golf and a religious Christian. So you couldn't drink.
I shouldn't have.
Tell me more stories
that.
about that. Like,
do
they ask you about writing? Do they ask you about interviewing people?
Maybe. Yeah, they have before.
That's what I mean. They ask about the podcast.
Like Super Deeker, you know, the Super Deeker, like the stick handling thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I did a thing with them a few months ago, and they were asking about my start and career and how, you know, and the youth hockey. Everybody's different.
AAA stuff.
But during like the NHL season and during the off season, free agency and whatever, I do a shit ton of that stuff.
Okay, that's what I mean. But we're in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious on what they'd ask.
I don't know what they want.
River.
I actually had to say something to the radio station. I do these like weekly hits,
with like every show. I'm like, can we just? I think it's maybe like we're done for the summer. Like, there's just nothing really going on. So like, no, unless they want to talk about the World Juniors or something. But
no, they don't. Here.
So
that's the
I
thing.
was like, why don't we like come back when like training camp starts or something? Is that bad to say?
No, you just because you're just freelancing it. Now I like talk, but they're not creative enough to ask you about what your take on.
Correct, because I don't need to talk hockey.
I don't want to talk hockey. I want to talk everything else. What do you want to know? Music? What? I got my take on this. What? Natural disaster? What? Politics? I can talk about politics if you want. Have opinion on a bunch of things. You might not agree with it, but we can go.
I think politics is too volatile to get into.
Yeah, but
I'm afraid that we talk about it too much in the intro, and people are going to get all upset about it.
We do?
I don't know.
Oh, dude, not at all. I bring it up once in a while, but it's just like, dude, it's in our face every day. Like, at least here's my opinion, and I like to hear what other people think, and it's all good. And I'm always like curious to hear what other people. Dude, I'm telling you, like sometimes it's in your face. What do you want to break down the World Junior? I'm not watching it. Fuck, I'm just not watching it. I want to watch a scary ass movie though. I want Halloween to come. I love Halloween. It's my favorite.
Do you know that
it's my favorite?
The Blues play on Halloween this year.
I'll go to that game.
Home game.
I love Halloween. It's 60 degrees, no humidity. It's windy. The leaves are changing.
I think
you
it's
can make a
colder
fire.
than that.
Some days are a little warm.
At night it gets cold. It's actually the first cold night of the year.
Not always.
Typically Halloween is the first cold night of the year.
Nothing's always.
It gets very cold sometimes on Halloween.
It gets warm on Halloween too.
It can be, yeah.
But I love it though. I miss the kids coming to my house because now I'm way out there. Like
it's so all old people. You may get a few grandkids that come out to your
it's
house.
very hilly and separated because we have big lots, Andy. Unlike your
neighbors are right next to you. What
no,
are you
they're
talking
not.
About? Cam, I went to your house, dude.
Dude, we have lots. Our lots are gigantic.
Your neighbor is right next to you.
Not like as close as yours by any stretch. We have. Like
I don't have any on three sides.
We have five.
I have.
We have five people in our.
I've got Praveen on one side, who's
Andy
had somebody clean up his
Our
yard,
houses are so separated. We don't have that many houses. Like and there's hills involved, and the kids. It's just not. Now they're going to side by side.
Maybe on the other side of the neighborhood.
They do trunk and
where
treat.
the like the gated part is. Like they're very separated.
Well, there's only 5 houses in my street, and then you got to go to a different street that may be a little bit more separated. There's not that much.
I mean, I want to be honest. Like it feels like suburban.
And he doesn't love to give compliments out. Like
it feels very.
He doesn't
suburban.
know how to do
it. Feels very suburban.
You're such a.
It's a neighborhood. It's a subdivision, right? It just happens to be on a golf course.
Two of them.
Yeah, but it's
Yoink.
It's suburban.
And he doesn't know how to give compliments out
it's
to anybody
he
ever. He
just
word, doesn't know how to do it. Like he can never just be like it might be.
I gave you that
hilly.
compliment after I went there.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you don't say anything. Like if I walked in your house, like, oh my, how lovely is this? I would look through your fridge. You just like walk over. What are we doing? Where's it go? I gotta get there early. Do my okay. I know, Andy. I'll set you up. Like I'll sign you up, and we're gonna be okay. I'll get the bloody. I need to like this. Nothing. Like you don't look around like, oh, this is love. Like no, you don't. You don't know how to give compliments.
You were like, make sure you tell Kate that the house looks great.
Just say it. She's gonna think you're a fucking dick if you don't. like you gotta think how women think too. It's like why wouldn't he?
Cam, of course I would, and like I always do.
I don't think you know how to do it.
I'm very complimentary.
Like Andy would just never like if I had a kid though and he was doing Andy would never compliment it.
That's not true.
I would bet you wouldn't. I would compliment Ty and compliment your kids and always say something. I bet you wouldn't do it.
That is a false
I bet you
narrative that you're throwing out there.
You didn't say my puppies are cute.
I'm curious which one you would keep.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, if you had to choose between the two.
Probably Luna because she's just more disciplined. But Baby Willow was her best little sister friend, and they convinced us to get both of them because
can you believe that story? Somebody took their dog to the quarantine and they euthanized it.
Yeah, damn right, I believe that.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Within 2 hours of being there.
I had to take my dog, and it's gonna.
And then they donated the brain to science.
I had to do that a year ago. A cat and a dog, and I had to do it for my parents too, because I don't want my dad going up there, so I just did it for them.
What do you just do that for people?
For my fucking parents.
Your dad didn't want to go?
Well, you came with me, but I went in there, so he'd have to sit there and
Do you know? I have my dog's. I have my dog's ashes.
I didn't do that.
You don't?
No, I remember them. I remember. I do believe like
I'm not a religious guy, but I just want to think. And when we pass, I go up to heaven and I see my pawpaw and I see my babies I just feel like they're just all there hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think that way. And I'm not a religious guy, but I want to. Maybe not. Maybe it's, how death is? Death is probably the same way it was before you were born. That might be the case. You just don't know. Like, what were you doing before you were born? That's what death could be. But I like.
Do you remember what you were doing?
No, that's Andy. That's what I'm saying. But my point is, like, I think that I would like to think that you go up there and you see all our relatives.
You'd like to think that.
Party of everybody, my babies. I
think you will be.
I believe it. I want to believe it. I'm just going to believe it to make me feel good anyway.
Do you believe some people go to hell?
Fuck yeah.
Damn.
Dude, there's some evilness.
Oh, that's so scary. I think your house looked great. Dude.
I think
your house was beautiful. I think your
house.
house was beautiful. Your dogs are beautiful. The neighborhood is beautiful.
It is.
I'm just telling you.
Andy,
hell would be a very scary place to go. Who wants to go there, man?
I've been through hell, I believe.
Really?
Shit. Yeah.
Well, you made your way out of it.
Coming out of that hardcore stuff was hell on earth. It was hell. There's hell, man. There's something, I think.
And imagine some of these other dudes that went even harder than you, man, that they had.
I don't know how much harder you can go. I was on the line of dying.
I know, man. No.
I partied hard. Well, what were you doing exactly? Let's add everything up and see.
Is it a competition?
Kind of.
Like a badge
I'm proud of
like
it.
A badge of honor.
I'm kind of proud of it.
Cam's like, nobody went harder than I did.
They kind of didn't. I was towing the line every night.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of guys who do that.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I was.
Who is? Well, maybe you don't want to say. Who partied the hardest of anybody you played with?
No one more than I did, in my opinion. I know.
Well, who came close?
There's a couple dudes. Oh, yeah.
Were there a couple?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I did some crazy stuff, and then I was able to always put myself in a mindset where I could act like I'm not fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you looked in my eyes and knew what you're looking at, you'd be like, yeah, there's something off. My pupils would be a different way or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I was able to hide it and get up and suck it up,
You like cake?
No, I mean, I don't know. Cake?
You know how to make a cake?
We're going from talking about hardcore.
You know how to make a cake?
I'm not a baker.
I'm trying to. My daughter wants to. I might bake a carrot cake here.
I eat carrot cake, dude.
I'll bring you a piece, dude.
No, don't do that because I won't eat it. But
why won't you eat it, dude?
Because I don't eat leftover
Brody would.
shit.
Brody's got no.
Give it to Brody. Don't give it to me.
What is it? He's got no food. He eats anything. Oh, standards. No food standards. He'll eat anything, he says.
Brody looks tan.
Mm.
I don't care about cake.
No?
I don't know. I drink beer, man. I'm not like and I don't eat leftover food. I'm very particular with that shit.
How long do burgers stay good for in the fridge?
After you cook them?
No.
Well, you could look, and if they turn gray, I wouldn't eat that meat.
Really, that's what it is if it turns gray. But as long as it's pink.
Yeah.
I may have to freeze those babies.
All right. You got kids, man. You gotta. I don't have kids, so I don't save stuff. But if I did,
I had a dream you had a kid.
I'm not like using a condom. Hopefully, no one chirps me that. I am having sex with my wife.
You're gonna hear
it's not like
you're gonna hear about that, dude.
But if we have one, we have one. But if we don't, we don't. I just got to stay alive long enough so we can enjoy our life together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's probably a good plan, dude. 100%. Don't have any concerns about that. That's like that's like dark talk.
Well, that's what you talk about when you don't have kids. When you're in a relationship, Andy, where you're like, well, if we don't have anything, like I gotta be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be healthy. So, and there's stuff that you can't control, and I get that, but
yeah, you feel pretty healthy now, though, don't you? You feel pretty
I'm
good.
overweight. I drink a little too much.
Anything else?
Nothing bad like that,
dude. Start drinking water. Honestly, if you
increase
drink
your water
intake,
Andy thinks Andy doesn't realize what I do. He only concerned about himself. Like I get up, I have my routine every morning. I crush water. I have my coffee, and I get to the studio. I'll do my push-ups. I'll get everything ready. Like I got an awesome system. Then I'll hang with you, and I'll go home and I'll have some beer. and I'll pass out and I'll get back up, maybe take a nap because I've been up so damn early.
Mm-hmm.
And make my phone calls and then Kate, I just chill. Like, I'm not that bad, but I was way worse earlier. Like, we don't go out, we don't hang. I go to bed at fucking 8:30, 9. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm disciplined as shit when it comes to getting up and.
What do you think of amusement parks? Would you go on like crazy, scary?
Yeah, I would.
Rides? Would you?
Not at a. After that kid from Missouri died.
The other? Day, that's a long time ago. That was down in Florida.
Yeah, I know, but he's from Missouri, and the dipshit from Florida, because that was a carnival ride, meaning like from Eureka, the carnies would come in once a year for Eureka days. It's so cool, but
they had Creve Coeur days.
I know party central. So I remember going to Eureka days and seeing the guy like in charge of like the thing.
No,
and I'm like, my wife's getting on that with her friend, and I'm looking at this fucking Hoosier, and I'm like.
Did you inspect this damn thing?
I'm looking at what am I supposed to look at? The nuts and bolts of it? I'm looking at the dipshit boy, and I'm like,
he didn't.
Like, this cat's snorting hard. He's eating his tongue right now. I know what that means. And
what does that mean when you eat your tongue? Yeah, what's he doing?
What do you think, Andy?
So those carnies, man, there's a whole like lifestyle that comes with that. You ever watch those shows? The carnies, there's a whole life that exists. Behind the scenes, man, they have like their own little community.
Yeah. Chicks everywhere.
Is that true?
No, Andy. I don't know. Like they have to travel together. Like
I'd be careful on the obviously on the carnival rides for sure, but it's the roller coasters and stuff like that just I don't think I could ever get back to take. I could never go on a roller coaster again the rest of my life. I don't think.
And it's weird because I have trouble driving sometimes, my vertigo. But I think if I'm on a roller coaster, I'm supposed to go through that. So maybe you'll like wake me up and be like, "You're supposed to."
Well, my daughter's been asking to go to Six Flags.
Well, then go.
I know. There. So I may have you come with us and like go on the rides with her and stuff like that. So
I actually would do that.
Yeah, no, you'll do that. Yeah,
let me explain myself. It needs to be one of those days. Can you rent the whole place out?
I think you can.
Yeah, either that or like a slow day. And I'll do any ride she want to do. I'll do that with her. 100% I will. I swear to God.
Although there's those racists over in Kansas City, they wouldn't let those people inside that amusement park. They rented out the whole damn thing and they wouldn't let them in because too many people showed up.
Yeah, it's nice to have the whole. It's like what Clark Griswold
I've never
did.
heard of that, of renting out the whole thing. It's funny you bring that up because I just was reading about it.
It'd be nice to do that. I'd do that.
You rent the entire thing out.
Yeah, just walk around. I don't know. I'd do that.
I haven't been to an amusement park in a long time. All right, well, I'll come get you in a few days and we'll go do that.
There's some things I would do, man. I'd do that. I'd go on a fighter jet with the Blue Angels and have them fucking take me everywhere.
Hell no.
I would. I'm overweight, though.
Is there a weight limit?
I think there is. I was supposed to do something for the Marine Corps for the radio show about skydiving, and I think I'm overweight by 30 pounds.
Get out of here. Okay, well, here's what you do, dude.
I know.
If you there's a whole routine for this. I was just reading about it.
Starve myself?
No, increase your water intake.
Yeah.
You increase your water intake.
I'm drinking beer right now.
No, but increase your water intake.
All right.
And then...
Andy, would you fuck off,
They were doing push-ups, sit-ups, and like one other, like squats or something like that. Like that's the whole... Not even going to a gym. The guy lost 50 pounds.
Yeah, I know, because he didn't eat anything.
No, he did eat. He said he had no restrictions on his diet.
Yeah, but he was already... Okay, Andy, just would you fuck the fuck off, please?
Like, and you don't eat after 8 p.m. and you don't eat before
that either.
noon.
I go to bed at 8:30.
But don't eat before noon.
I know what I'm doing wrong. You don't have to explain it to me. I know what to do. That's very disciplined to do that. I'm not there yet.
Well, listen, start your water intake.
Brody, shake your head with me,
Start
please.
doing it now, dude. Increase your water intake.
I know. I'm just bitching to bitch. It's all good.
We've got some great shows coming up, dude. Some really good interviews. And so people are going to want to stay tuned for these. We got some great ones coming up. This was great. Ryan Strome was amazing. And we got some good ones coming up here later on this week, too. And obviously that we'll have put out here over the course of the next few weeks, man. And before you know it, training camp's going to be here.
Yeah, I know.
Just like that, man. Yeah. Late next month, training camps will start. We still got a long ways to go, though, before the regular season begins. This is like the longest off season in NHL history, it feels like, because the season doesn't start till like mid-October.
And that's usually the case, right?
Normally like early October.
October 15th, I usually saw the games when I
October 16th, yeah. Well, no, normally like first week of October. So it's about a week behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Mark Twain Lake.
Oh, are you?
Late September. I think that's a perfect time in Missouri to go where you can still
What are you
going to
do there? get a cabin or something?
We have a cabin on the water with a fire pit, so I can still bring down these little logs, so you can just light the log.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to get you could get firewood. I'll put it back in my truck, at the gas station down the road. I love doing that, and I'll get these starter logs, Andy, and I'll just start them, and they go for 3 hours.
Well, you want to put the wood on the starter logs because then you get the big fire.
I know.
You don't just use the starter log.
Andy, I know.
Okay.
So I'll put the starter log down there. You get a little bundle of them.
You can buy a bundle of wood for like $5.
Yeah, but it's easy to start the wood with them. Anyway, Jesus, would you shut up? And so I chill. Kate and I will get our mind right, jam out. We don't have neighbor. We have the corner lot. We got a little Cobalt the first day. We got a big pontoon boat the second day.
Is this what you're envisioning, or you already have all this
it
planned?
Yeah, late September.
Oh, really?
And so we'll find a little cove at Table Rock. We'll fucking party. We'll just
Where do
chill.
you get the boat? You rent it?
We rent both of, because I don't have my boat. So we
Who's
rent a
gonna
Cobalt that's a
drive
little
it?
quicker. 18-year-old boy. That's
Hey,
gonna
how
creep
far
my wife
away
out.
is Mark
Yeah,
Twain Lake?
3.5, 4 hours.
Oh, is it that far?
It's 2 highways. It's easy, yes.
I'll come down and meet you there for a night.
Yeah, that'll be a blast.
Okay.
Bring the kids. So we'll. I'm not bringing the dogs or anything, but we're gonna go. So I love late September. The leaves are changing just a little bit.
Yes.
It's humid. You could still.
It can
jump
be
in.
humid.
The water's still warm from the summer, so you could get in the water. You could. There's bugs are okay. It's perfect.
You just don't know. I mean,
for the most
it
part,
could be buggy still, but
anything could happen, Andy, with anything.
Yeah.
But for the most part, statistically, that's kind of the best.
September in this region
Late
is
September.
still like August.
Mine's
really.
September 29th. We're going out, so it's gonna be a little later in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect for me.
All right,
I'll
good.
jump in that water so fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be great, man. Looking forward to hearing about that. Who else is going?
It's Kate and I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I don't need anybody
No, you
else.
need that. You need that.
Kate and I don't need people to entertain us.
No,
I don't need somebody to talk to. I thought we jam the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what you need.
I went to block.
You got to get one of those.
Chill.
Get one of those Sonos.
I got them, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all those rental boats don't have the nicest.
Yeah, you go to the block, you got it. They sell all
So
the
we
stuff
got-
from my
oh,
boy
yeah.
from Proper.
And we'll just find a cool cove now. I love exploring with boats. I love to creep these little these, and I just see what's up, and then I'll anchor down. We'll swim across. Let's check out this little cove, this little peak. Those these little little cabins that are abandoned. Maybe you could cruise. Kind of go check it. I love to do that shit. Now I always wear shoes
They're water shoes.
Yes, so you could step on things, not sandals.
I mean, you act like this. Nobody knows this.
Yeah, but a lot of people just wear sandals. I always wear water. They're not. They're these cool shoes they're boat shoes, but you can get them wet. Who cares? But when you get in the water, you can still swim with them because they're not heavy.
No, you
they
can
don't absorb water.
at REI. You just,
Yeah, and you can step on the rocks, get up, and now you have shoes for when you get on the. If you want to explore, man,
Yes.
there's a little cat, there's this shit down there. It's fun to. That's what you do. But if you have sandals and you're stepping on things no, just be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
little
better
stuff
be
like
prepared.
that. I love the water, man.
Okay. Well, we look forward to hearing about that when you get back, and I'll have to evaluate you and your boat that you're getting on and all that stuff.
I only have a couple options to shoot, but
I know.
I checked 2 different things out.
get
I got the Cobalt.
Just get
and
a
I got
pontoon.
I got one of each one day and the other day.
Okay, good.
Because I want to barbecue on the pontoon the second day.
Oh, they have a barbecue pit on the
Fuck yeah.
pontoon. Okay, good. All right, good. You're all set then. All right,
Yeah, I might need a driver. You want to come drive me?
Well, I might. Hairclub.com. They could probably find you a driver too, man. They got something for everything. Anything you need, man, at Hair Club. Listen, dude. I'm trying to explain to people who may be hesitant and reluctant to walking in there and just checking it out to see exactly what
Just
they need.
walk in. Everybody knows what's going on. Who cares? Get it done. Go get an evaluation. See what they have to say about it. See, get a game plan going. It's easy.
The process is very easy.
Yes.
Yeah. Process is very easy. And again, there's so many different options for you. And it's like a whole plan, It's like a plan that they can obviously, take care of you, and they get you on a program. Replace, restore, regrow that hair. Do it today. 800-279-7878. 800-279-7878. Give them a call today and check out Hair Club. CarShield and CarShield.com. 800-857-2481, baby.
Yeah.
Call CarShield. Use that promo code CAM. You'll save 10%. I know it's embarrassing, but you just have to do it. It's going to save you lots of money. So check that out with our friends over there at CarShield. Again, you never know when something's going to go down. Make sure you have that protection from our friends over at CarShield, and they love hockey too, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're supporting hockey at all levels, everywhere, all over the place. Nick Hamilton, give him a shout-out.
So, Nicky boy, what up?
And Steve.
Stevie Boy, what's up? I follow them both on Facebook.
Okay, absolutely. So check out Carshow and carshow.com. All right, waggle.com. Get your waggle.com. That is the website, actually. It's Waggle Golf. If you want to know what the stuff looks like, just check out my Twitter account. I think I put something on Instagram a few weeks ago as well, so you can check that out.
We all got our social media. Follow us. I got 2 Facebook accounts and all that stuff.
2?
Yeah. I got 2 different Facebook.
Do you post on both of them?
Yeah, different things.
Is that hard to keep track of, like, all your Facebook accounts?
No, I just put the podcast stuff on my fan page, and my personal page, it only has 5,000 people because you could have that limit.
That's the limit, right?
Yeah. So I post like Kate and I shit on there.
Okay.
You know?
So you don't post any podcast stuff on your personal page?
Sometimes.
That's for the other page.
If it's like a local guy.
I got
It's
you.
all like, well, no, it's people from everywhere, actually.
But check out all the different options they have for you, Cam, over there at Waggle.
Waggle. I love that Waggle shit, man. It looks great.
And it's so comfortable.
I'm actually like posting cool things on it, like where I'm actually golfing.
But you have to make sure, honestly, when you go to the course nowadays, it doesn't even matter how you play when you look good.
Well, don't embarrass yourself.
Well, just look good when you're doing it. It won't be as embarrassing, I'll tell you that.
Well, if you feel good what you look like, you'll play better.
Is that
I
true?
played the 2 best rounds in a long time until about the 13th hole.
I don't know. Okay. I've seen you golf, dude. I don't know. How good are we talking?
A bogey every hole. Legit bogey. Pretty good.
You were finding your ball and stuff?
Every time. Never lost the ball.
Really?
Simplified. Hit my 7 when I could have crushed a slice on a 5.
So you were just like going easy.
I was going easy. I knew my 7 was good, and I just kept fucking hitting the 7. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And then I hit my ace or whatever, get it on, and maybe 2 putt. Just make sure then I just look at the green. If I'm 30 feet out, I'm like, I got to 2 putt this. So I make the hole way bigger, like a hula hoop, and like try to get in that hula hoop. Like just little things. And I got it there, and I putted it in.
I got you.
So I bogeyed every hole, and I was great.
All right, well, check that out. Waggle Golf. Get your waggleon.com. They got a ton of different selections for you. Long sleeve, short sleeve, women's stuff, man, hats, great stuff from waggle.com. And, of course, our friends over there at Bellman.com, man. Bellman Automotive. Danny Bellman. Say hi to Dale and say hi to
hey, Dale.
Kenny.
Kenny, what's up, baby? What up, Dale?
Or Kyle.
What's up, Kyle? Need that badass truck.
I know. You got to get out there and get one.
I will.
And check it out. Troy, Missouri. Again, they got the Buick GMC on one side of the street.
Buick.
And you should get that Buick, dude. I've been telling you to get that Enclave.
Woods,
3 rows.
I like it.
Frosted white.
Runs like a Cadillac.
Beige interior. They do run like Cadillacs, man. They're nice, man, those Buicks. You got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on the other side of the street. All in Troy, Missouri. Check it out. Where you don't get any Cam, when you walk in there.
Swinging dad.
That's right. None of that. All right, this has been the Cam Strick Podcast. Again, check out all our social media, everything else you're looking for. Check it out. Crush the like button. Leave us a comment, too. And if you have a problem with something Cam said, message us.
Just message me and tell me. But don't just
don't
throw it on.
Don't lump me in there.
Yeah, I know. Don't just throw it on Twitter. Just tell me. Don't just throw it on Twitter. Do positive stuff on Twitter.
Something like that.
I know rape stuff. Good God. If you're going to correct me on something, I'm like,
Man, you gotta be
the rape
accurate,
stuff
too.
is like, good Lord, even you had to apologize. And I love you, man. I talked to you. You're all good. I just, I got to be kind of crazy, dude. It is what it is. All right. Love you guys.
All right.
See you, dudes.
Hey, next time it's episode 200.
Oh, my word. That's pretty good, Andy. We did good, man. We're doing
All right,
good.
this has been episode number 199 on the Cam Strick Podcast.